Welcome to the Gibberpish Podcast.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I may be doing a dumb bit to start off our show, but we're here to talk gibberish, aren't we, Dom?
Absolutely. Back once again, casting the pods, talking shit.
So I'm doing this dumb bit where I have basically completely fucked the audio for the first part of this podcast. If you noticed, everything's on the left-hand side, and everything is slightly, there's no bass, no extra thing. This is how I've been hearing for the last couple of weeks. It's cleaned up now, it's been like this for a couple of weeks, I've been sorted out, it's all good, but for like 6 weeks, I have had nothing but this weird noise where all I can hear is out of one ear. Everything else is completely clogged, and there's no depth to it at all. So there'll be no high, no low, no nothing. So you'll understand. If I've ever been in a bad mood in the last couple of weeks, this has been it. My life has been in this certain way. I'm going to quickly fix the audio before we begin with our first segment of Cunt of the Show, because it's a good one. And I want you to hear it in full proper audio HD, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're back with proper audio levels.
Yes, we're back with the the audio HD.
Yeah, audio HD.
Audio HD.
You're going to listen to that and be like, ew. I guarantee you, when you listen to it, like, just to check it all out, I'm going to make sure there's all the compression levels are right so that you just hear this weird flat dialogue. Like, everything that comes at you is just going to sound horrible rather than what we do now. Cunt of the Show.
Starting at the top of the show.
What I do is, and I would put this at the start because I say it's a good warm up. It's good to get that kind of self-righteous anger going.
Yeah.
And with this one, there's absolutely great reasons to feel angry. We're about to talk about Sarah Barris and Brandon Machin, I guess is going to be the pronunciation.
Let's say the name.
Machin. Machin.
Yeah, Machin. Or Machin.
Machin. No, there's nothing so exotic. These guys are from Sheffield, so the exotic lands of Sheffield.
The exotic land.
You may have seen these guys in the news recently because they've been jailed for murdering their sons. They tried to poison their 6 kids. First of all, calm it down.
Yeah, first of all, buy a TV.
Buy condoms.
Buy condoms, then a PlayStation. You have too much time on your hands.
They suffocated the eldest 2 brothers, who were 14 and 13 years old at the time, killed them, and they tried to murder the next child by drowning the kid in the bath. They were sent to jail, and frankly, should go into the deepest hell imaginable. But the question is, why would you try and murder your only children? The only 6 children you have.
Insurance.
Insurance money. Actually, it's more of a scam than that. They're trying to hide the fact that Sarah and Brandon are half-brother and sister. Incest murderer! Yay!
Oh, that sounds like the makings of a horror anime.
I've seen that one.
You know what? Probably.
Yeah, this story came out and I saw it was at my parents, and I decided having a couple of drinks, and I proceeded to drink a lot more that night.
I can understand why.
Just trying to wrap my head around the idea that someone's out there making babies with their half sister, and I was like, need to clean this one up.
Yep.
Bring me the pillow. Oh, so bad.
Come here, Junior. It's bath time. The cunt of the week rightly deserved.
Yeah, the baby, or the child they tried to drown apparently survived, and I hope to fuck those kids are okay. There's 4 of them are now going into the adoption agency here in the UK, and the parents are now being charged and hopefully given an infinite sentence. Yeah. I don't care about these guys getting out.
Nah, definitely not. The only thing that could be worse for the child is if they go to the hospital to get checked out and it's fucking Alex Jones with that weird creepy doctor voice. We make them comfortable. We take the babies.
Take the babies, make them comfortable.
It's the bit when I watched the video podcast for that section because I think it was off at the time, so I'd plenty of time, so I thought, fuck it, never watched it on YouTube before. Yeah. And it's just the fact it keeps doing this weird hand gesture where the hands are almost touching, and he just does a slight to the right hand side gesture. We make them comfortable. Like, what's the hand doing? What's the hand alluding to? That's creepier than your weird accent.
Why does the hand pass in a certain direction and with weird consistency?
Yeah, odd consistency.
He's a weird gentleman. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, that's putting it very politely.
Did you see him being interviewed by Count Dankula?
I did not.
No, he had like an hour-long interview with Scottish YouTuber Marcus Meakin, aka Count Dankula, who has been obviously in the news a lot for his issues with a pug video where he made his pug.
Is he the dude that made his pug do the Nazi salute?
Yeah, he basically trained it. So you basically train dogs to do anything. So the stimulus was gas the Jews. And what he said was, like, give paw for the phrase gas the Jews. Yeah. So he said, I've turned my pug into an ass. Fucking weird. Not the funniest joke, but still technically a joke. No. But the Scottish Crown Service said, no. You've committed hate speech. You're being fined for £800, which I was in weird confusion about because he was saying, I'm not paying that. I will go to jail on principle on this thing. Fuck. Like, okay, understandable. If you disagree with the court, you would naturally follow that line of thought. Turns out he had the money taken from him.
Oh, right.
The Scottish court basically served him a letter saying, you've failed to pay it yourself voluntarily. We can either garnish wages, we can seize property, or we can just take it out of your bank account.
Yeah, you don't really get the option if they're giving you a fine, you don't really get to say, "Nah, I'll just go to jail." And like, no, there's been no jail sentence passed.
Yeah.
We will take the money one way or the other. And then you get the sheriff officer heavies coming to the door and saying, "Right, give us £800 worth of stuff. A check for £800, or we just come in and take shit."
Yeah. And that was what they did was they did it digitally, so they don't have to bother a police officer. It's technically more effective as policing goes. It's good policing.
Yeah,
it's weird it happens in what is basically a free speech case. Although one thing you kind of learn throughout the course of this is that we don't actually have free speech. So
it's limited free speech.
Yeah, we have what we're allowed to say, and in a weird way,
you have the pre-approved list of shit that you can say,
but you will never actually see it because as soon as you draw a line, people will now start working around that line, through the line,
people
over
will
the line,
dig under the line.
People will try and shift the line,
rub the line out and draw it again.
Or it's a weird situation, but I don't know how we got into that. But Alex Jones's interview with Marcus Meekin, very interesting, very strange.
Weird to see. And going back to the cunt of the show, I think that's what happened because I think I said the baby going to the hospital and it's just Alex Jones in a weird. I don't know why I picture when he was doing that voice. I pictured him dressed as Colonel Sanders, but with a white lab coat.
It's the soft, soothing Southern voice.
Yeah, it was not soothing.
It's supposed to be. It's soothing. It's supposed to sound
a
soothing.
Southern loving voice.
It's Southern loving voice. Sounds like biscuits and gravy, and you're like, okay, that's nice, but at the same time, you're talking about blending children.
You're talking about taking stem cells from children. Nah, fuck those people. Don't have weird incest kids. Only then to kill them. On your mistake, fuckers.
I'm trying to find a weird cameo segue we can have to the next thing, and I keep focusing on weird incest babies. So I guess I'm gonna go with Apple launching the new streaming service with called a show called C.
Okay.
And it's where Jason Momoa helps children or some shit. They're all blind. Everyone on the planet is blind, and it's Jason Momoa fighting a bear, which I guess is a weird incest baby joke. I don't know. I mean,
seeing Aquaman fight a bear would be kind of cool, but
it's weird.
It leads me on to a point where I think we're now going to see the streaming service war with Netflix.
Oh, it's
kind of at the forefront.
Netflix already in a very well established entrenched position as being on almost every device humanly possible.
Disney Plus is trying to take it, but they don't really, in my opinion, they don't really have as much to offer to people outside the US. Whereas Netflix is universal, worldwide. You can get that fucking any country. Disney Plus is only America, right? It may have better programming, but the programming therein has been cut and butchered to hell. For example, I'm a huge fan of the cartoon Gravity Falls. It was a really, really short-lived TV show. It was only 2 seasons. But
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I fucking loved it because it was an odd cartoon. It was funny. It was again odd, heartfelt moments like we used to see in the old 90s cartoons.
Is it not made by the same guy who did Fairly Odd Parents?
No, it's made by a guy called Alex Hirsch who wrote Detective Pikachu the movie.
Okay.
So and again, it was fucking weird. The whole point of the show was it was a young boy and his twin sister just got into weird and awesome adventures in an almost haunted town in the middle of Midwestern America.
It's a good children's TV show, yeah.
Yeah, and they lived with their great uncle Stan, who was called Grunkle Stan. And
that's where that name comes from, right?
And he owned an attraction called the Mystery Shack, and it was all just a weird toy with a fish sewn on it, and it was the Merman. It was complete snake oil salesman. But throughout the show, there was tons of weird imagery that I guarantee he had to explain to Cartoon Network. Explain to Disney. Look, this is fine. It's a bit weird, but I guarantee the kids are going to love it. So much shit that could have been censored, but instead they decided to censor the fish on Grunkle Stan's fez for whatever fucking reason.
I did see that on Twitter this morning. Yeah, the people have gone through and with all these new streaming services, obviously there's a chance to change the content, and there is weird things that people are noticing.
Yeah,
because the one that's been noticed on the Disney one is that because obviously Disney owns Fox, they're streaming The Simpsons.
Yeah, and the aspect ratio is off or something.
Yeah, they shifted the aspect ratio to a new one, and it cuts out some of the old jokes. Because one they pointed to was the idea that in the Duff factory there's like Duff Light, normal Duff, and then Duff King, which is the premium brand, and it all comes through the same pipe. And it just filters out, just randomly, whatever goes to left, and whatever like that. And I was like, okay, that's a funny bit, but because of the aspect ratio being cut off, you didn't see that. And I was like, oh, it's a weird choice, but apparently they're fixing that now.
Yeah, they are going back and fixing a lot of shit. And it wasn't just Gravity Falls and The Simpsons. There were some other TV shows, some older TV shows that they were taking that were just cut off randomly. Because I think in the opening for the 90s X-Men cartoon, there's a point where Wolverine jumps up and cuts the head off a Sentinel.
I remember that.
It's just like he jumps up and cuts the top of your TV now.
Okay.
Because they cut out that whole scene. I don't know why. But
I think that might be a violence thing.
I think it might just be transitioning because they're trying to put it in HD.
Yeah.
And maybe taking that, they've had to try and crop shit out or make the image fit.
Well, I had a similar experience recently with don't let me get away from Fox and Simpsons and stuff like that. I've got another point.
Okay.
But it was to do with like an old YouTube video popped up. I just was going through random clips and stuff. I found a YouTube video with a max res of 240p and a 4:3 aspect.
Shit.
Took me back to the bad old days, or the good old days, depending on how you feel about YouTube.
Where everything was recorded on potatoes.
Yeah, I remember watching it was a 144p versions of Dragon Ball. The abridged. Holy shit! Like
So glad they upscaled that shit.
You ever seen, like, if you go back and watch those videos? This is like what we're saying basically is very old, small videos. Go back and watch that, and now go and watch someone live stream as a live broadcast footage at 1080p at 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
Watch how far the technology has come in just 10 years. It's obscene. I love it.
But back in the day when we used to try and watch Dragon Ball Z clips, because when we were in high school, we were still watching Dragon Ball Z. Everybody fucking was.
Yeah.
And we thought, maybe we can find some episodes on YouTube, and you were watching a horribly made, very grainy video of Vegeta killing Majin Buu with the final explosion. And this horribly compressed aspect ratio. Then you flash forward to what I was doing after that video. I was watching Jedi Fallen Order videos in the Star Wars game, which looks pretty fucking good in 4K, 60 frames per second. This game looks fucking stunning. I'm just sitting thinking how far we have come in 10 years.
And I'm so glad we did.
Yeah.
There's some things you go back and you think, I don't think we don't need to change that. That should stay as it is. And then you see some stuff and you're like, yeah, we really needed that march of technology.
Yeah, definitely. And I get oddly nostalgic, but there are certain things vis-a-vis VHS tapes, low res TV that I do not look back on fondly. I mean, I'll look back on TV shows that I had on VHS, think, oh, that'd be cool if that came out on Blu-ray. But I'll never look back and say, I wish I had my fucking VHS player so I could watch these and a massive. Because I think I have a 52-inch TV. Yeah, I'm not going to watch VHS tape that was meant to be played in a 10-inch TV.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch that in a full HD monitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 15-inch combo CRT screen. You're like, oh my god, it has a tape player attached to the TV.
Oh, dude, you were the fucking coolest kid in school if you had a DVD player attached to your TV. They would CRT monitors. Speaking of old school technology, you know they're apparently Motorola are bringing the Razor back.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this.
You fold it open, it's just a touchscreen in the middle.
Yeah, they've went for obviously there's a race to get the folding phone perfected after Samsung's somewhat displeasing start.
Yeah, their attempt.
It was hilarious. If you missed out on that one, you have missed out on some of the best tech YouTube videos of all time. Of all these tech YouTubers getting this brand new folding phone and then just playing with it and then watching it break in their hands as they film it, and you're like,
yeah, they take the safety film off and oh shit, that broke it. How the fuck did that?
Because that's the thing is, everyone who looked at it assumed that it was some kind of protective cover or safety film that came with it as part of protecting the shipping, like during shipping.
Yeah, I mean most phones have them. Every phone that you will buy has them.
Every person looked at that, assumed the same thing, peeled it off, only to find that is a core part of this phone somehow.
Like somehow they managed to, because there's even
you watched the black screen of death peel across as they peeled off the thing.
I'm pretty sure even had a little white label at the bottom of the screen. People are like, all right.
Oh shit.
Just immediately hammering the phone screen.
But I've been watching the coverage of the Motorola Razr reboot, kind of. I guess we can call it reboot.
Yeah.
Here's the only thing. It's not I don't know what the point is. And I think Lennis Tech Tips put it best on their One Show podcast where they said, who's this for?
Yeah.
Because it's not bringing you the double size functionality of like the Huawei or the Samsung one where it's like you have double the size, you basically just turned your phone into a tablet. Yeah. Which is actually surprisingly pretty good. If you have the controls set up right, you can actually have dual screens or one big screen. Yeah. And if you're set up correctly, it's actually surprisingly easy to use. And one thing somebody commented on was the fact that I think it was Marcus Brownlee was saying, if I have to open up the phone to use it as a phone, I'm going to use the phone less. And he said he actually reduced his time, using the number of times he opened the phone, but he got more quality of life out of the phone while it was open, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does in a weird way.
So they were talking about that, but they said, what's the point in this? Because you don't get the double-sized screen. You're just folding it open, and then when you fold it open, it becomes a normal phone. Yeah. It doesn't become a massive phone, it just is a normal phone, just with a bit of a fond memory of the Motorola Razr, which is the sexiest phone of all time. Don't even at me on this one, like, I'm sorry.
It's all to do with this nostalgia bullshit, because remember when the 3310 redo came out?
Yes.
And then people were fucking excited to go and get it, because it was a minimalist phone. You couldn't get on Facebook, you couldn't get on that, all you could do was call and text. But it used the old 2G signal, not 3 or 4G. So people bought it and was like, yeah, this is fucking cool, I'm going to be able to get days of battery out of this. And people were saying, yeah, the battery lasted for weeks because they couldn't use the phone. because it used an old out-of-date signal. And then they brought out the slider. Remember the old Matrix phone that they had, the old Nokia?
Oh yeah.
People brought that out, and people bought it, and I still see some people using it through in Edinburgh. But again, tiny, old school Nokia screen that still uses at best a 3G signal. How much value for that? I think it's 220 odd quid for that phone. Why not take that money and get a good phone, or get a phone that you can actually use?
Get it better. Go like half a generation back in smartphones and get something that's off-brand.
Yeah,
that's what I do with my phones, and you get a damn good phone out of it.
Yeah, or just do what I do, get a slightly. I never buy the newest and best phone. Cause I mean, I had a fucking BlackBerry for years before I got my iPhone, but I never buy the newest phone there.
Just go like 2 generations back, you'll find an absolute bargain of a top quality phone. Yeah, it's
ridiculous. Never buy the latest and greatest thing, because then you end up with the horrible, slightly nasty, cheap and awful feel of the iPhone 11. Because my brother has one. He went for the iPhone 11 Pro Max because he's a fucking idiot. And just has money to burn, apparently. I swear to Christ, I better get a fucking amazing birthday present off him. I've seen the amount of money that he's just burnt on this phone, and I was playing about with it, and even compared to my phone, because I've got the XR, I went for the second best version of the last model, the X, and even compared to that, this phone feels cheap. It feels light, and it feels like if I drop it, it will just completely disintegrate. I don't like it, and 3 cameras is not a good excuse.
It's not a good selling point unless the YouTube kind of tech vlogger guys that I follow, they all really enjoy the picture quality that comes out of it, and say it actually does film incredibly well. But unless you have that goal marketing,
unless your purpose is to go out and get a phone that you want to use as a camera,
there's not much.
I mean, why even get? I'm kind of against phone camera, because why not just, if you're that bothered about taking pictures, why not just invest in a good DSLR or a good,
even just a reasonable DSLR?
Yeah, just. It doesn't even need to be top of the line. Just go out and get a good camera if it's that much of an issue to you. I just don't see the point in having the biggest and greatest cameras on phones. Let a phone be a phone.
I forget.
Okay.
With the Disney thing, the fact that Disney owns The Simpsons reminded me of something. Does that not mean technically we could have The Simpsons in the next Kingdom Hearts?
We could.
And does that give us the possibility of just remaking the entirety of Simpsons Hit and Run, the single greatest Simpsons game ever created? Possibly the single greatest tie-in game ever created in Kingdom Hearts. Just we'll have one level that's just the entirety of Hit and Run. 10 out of 10 game of the year.
Yeah, already. I heard that's getting an HD remake anyway.
Ooh.
Because I do not want. I mean, from my point of view, I do not want to live in a world where SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom gets an HD remake and Simpsons Hit and Run doesn't, because Simpsons Hit and Run was responsible for me losing a week of high school because I just got a PlayStation 2 at the time and I just played Hit and Run. Like fucking non-stop.
I guarantee though, if it does come out, it is coming out as an exclusive. Somehow somebody's going to fucking botch
Christ,
this.
if it's an Epic Games exclusive, I'm going to kick whoever the fuck owns Epic Games in the face. They cannot hold that game back from people.
I didn't even consider it as like a PC thing. I said I was thinking PS4. It would be PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
It seems like the kind of thing
See,
that
Sony Sony might grab it, but I guarantee Nintendo would just walk in and go, come on, kid-friendly game, bring it on Switch. Then all Fox would need to do would just look at the amount of money that Switch is making and go, yeah, okay, we're going with those, and they'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I did hear that Simpsons Hit and Run is coming back in HD form, and I just painted the walls. I was so fucking happy. I was like, dude,
bro, I busted that.
I just straight nutted because I started remembering all the little all the little aspects of the game. Like, if you go here, you can pick up the rocket car that you can't fucking drive because it's that quick.
Yeah.
If you go into Mr. Burns' house, you can pick up the gold-plated car, but you get chased at some point. And if you go on top of if you go on top of one of the shops in the strip mall, you can find a flying saucer and you just lift off of that.
There is a lot in that game, and one of my favourite things I found
a tie-in game when tie-in games are good.
It was I found a speedrunner doing that. I was not aware you could speedrun Simpsons Run, and this guy is like,
it's essentially just Crazy Taxi. So
he's pushing for it at like a world record pace. He's actually moving characters. He's like, I'm gonna hit this character with my car to push them over here, so that when I come out of my car, go into my house a certain way, when I come out, he's still standing there, so I can start talking to him. It saves me 5 seconds. Like, you're a crazy person.
It's fucking great.
I love you, but you're a crazy person, you son of a bitch.
What was the other Simpsons game? I think they tried to make a follow-up to Hit and Run. Was it Simpsons Road Rage?
I'm not sure.
Because I remember Hit and Run came out and everybody was fucking playing
I'm surprised they didn't have a skating game. With the amount of time that Bart Simpson was on a skateboard, at that time you had stuff like Skate and Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk.
It would have been a great tie-in.
I think, did Bart not appear in one of the Tony Hawk games?
I don't know.
Because I'm not thinking about it. That is a dumb move from Fox to not put him in a skating game.
That is cash left on the table right there.
Yeah, because we had Simpsons
make
Wrestling.
It good. You can just have it. You can just have that idea.
Yeah, just do it.
Go for it.
I mean, if that helps Simpsons Hit and Run HD, I'll give that idea. Yeah. But yeah, we had Simpsons Wrestling, which was oddly fun.
I don't remember that.
I do. It was one of the first games I got from a PlayStation 1. Because again, I always got consoles well after other people. Because everyone was like, oh, we're on PlayStation 2. I'm like, hey guys, I just got the PS1 Slim. Oh wait, you're on PS2 now. Motherfucker. But yeah, I remember Simpsons Hit and Run. I remember being quite young at the time and laughing my head off when the announcer said Apu versus anybody, because it was just like a turd's fighting something. not saying that Apu himself is a turd, but just hearing the announcer go Apu versus Homer. He's saying Apu's fighting someone. Just being very fucking juvenile.
That just makes me think of the celebrity deathmatch ones, like the claymation fights.
That's coming back as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. There's so much shit that's coming back. At the same time, I'm glad it is coming back, but all the new shit that's out just now, I'm like, nah, get rid of that. If Celebrity Deathmatch is coming back, just get rid of the new shit that I don't really care about.
Speaking of the new shit, just while we're on this.
While we're on the Disney Plus.
Oh, I think I'm done with Disney Plus. It was just to do with like new shit I'm watching. I know you've started watching something, or you've kind of kept an eye on something from Disney
I've been
Plus?
keeping an eye on something from Disney Plus just because I want to watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure if I want to get the $13.99 or $11.99 a month subscriptions there.
Is there not like a free trial?
If there is a free trial, I'm going to wait until however many episodes of The Mandalorian is, and I'm just going to watch that.
That is going to happen. There's going to be like a spike free subscription users like
the
week the last episode comes out, and then nobody just sign up for it, cancel it immediately.
It's just going to be up there for about an hour, then immediately done.
Because I think there's always been this weird lingering conspiracy theory that is how streaming services will make their money, is that you will set it and forget it.
Yeah.
By the time you get through a 2-week trial, you won't remember that you signed up. You've already put your credit card info in there.
Yeah.
And you agreed that the second that your trial expires, bang, cash comes out. I
mean, I was talking to someone that worked for Amazon, and they're sort of he worked in their distribution and kind of worked his way up to sort of the planning and sort of the Prime bit where sending out free or doing all the promotion side of shit, essentially doing PR for Amazon. And he was saying that they kind of pride themselves on hiding the auto renewal turn off button. Because people will get the free trial and say, you're agreeing to this, and then all of a sudden, 3 months later, like, why am I paying $13.99 a month for Amazon? It's like, because you left auto renewal. It's the same with places like Sky. They will say, I'm going to sign up to just say Premier Sports. And they're like, oh, sure, no problem. They'll give you all the information that you need to know, but 9 times out of 10 on the phone, you're just going, yeah, whatever, cool. Can I go watch the football now? Cool. Next thing you know, you're getting charged £18 a month for an extra channel that you only wanted for a couple of weeks.
I know that there's I've got friends who worked in the customer retention on that side of things.
Yeah.
And I was talking to them, I was like, so what's your job basically? My job is to keep with us. No matter what it takes. I can make you deals, I can cut certain channels in and out, I can do certain things to make you happy. You have to keep paying. That is my one goal, is to keep you as a customer for the company. And I was like, oh shit, that's a little dodgy, but I guess, I mean, if it works, if it makes the company money, I guess if they can cut certain deals, it makes a lot of sense. But I have actually talking about Amazon, one thing I've noticed, I went absolutely nuts when I realised that Netflix was going to get some South Park episodes. They got season 1 and then
5 seasons.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and a choice of best episodes that they call their best selection, although for sometimes it shows up as season 2. I don't know what they're doing there. I didn't know Amazon Video has just season 1 through to 22.
Yeah,
fucking amazing service. I've been looking forward to this because there's episodes I've never seen outside of like a tiny little video that was really badly like copied from a tape somewhere.
Yeah.
To actually get to see the Corn episode in season 3 where Corn show up.
Yeah.
It's fucking hysterical. I've never actually seen this outside of like the worst rip of a physical VHS I've ever seen, and I was laughing my ass off at just how weird and goofy the whole show used to be. It's still weird and goofy in a different way now. It's grown, it's changed. I would say it's matured, but it's South Park, so we're going to put that in big quotation marks.
Yeah, we'll just take it with a pinch of salt that it's matured.
And I loved the Corn episode because I forgot how funny it was that Corn show up randomly and like have a Scooby-Doo mystery.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh, we just want to play our music for the town. And everyone's like, yeah, Corn, play your music. And everyone goes, hey, I've never actually listened to Corn before. And they just start playing Got the Life. And just Jonathan Davis screaming about God wanting to kill him and stuff like that. You're like, oh, this is what Corn's like. Oh, okay.
South Park kind of have a weird history with metal because there was a few metal bands that played back in the day. I'm pretty sure Manson appeared in an episode. Marilyn Manson, not that Manson.
Yeah, I think they obviously have various celebrity cameos. Some of them actually being voiced by celebrities, some of them just being random people
Yeah.
pretending to be like Marilyn Manson or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've always dealt with that type of thing. It's always been quite fun that they've had just the right amount of like its own thing and respect for metal as its own thing, but also at the same time treating it without kid gloves. So it's not like, oh, we're favouring it in any kind of way.
Yeah.
So right now they're actually in a lot of shit because they're going to take on the whole transgender athletes thing
Oh, yeah.
by having Macho Man Randy Savage appear as a woman in the show.
Well,
And
it's not
take
like he
on
can say much.
deadlifting.
It's not like he can say much.
Yeah, but I saw like a couple frames of the episode. I saw like a clip that they put up on social media, and it's just Macho Man Randy Savage because he's weightlifting against one of the characters in the show who is Strong Woman, who is the vice principal of the school now because they've changed around some characters. They put in the PC principal, who is he is just like he's there as a PC character to annoy every other character in the show. And they put in Strong Woman as a thing to try and like challenge him in a certain way. Like he's, she is a strong, independent woman and doesn't need his support, but he at the same time trying to be a white knight and a bro and a helper and an ally to every cause ever is constantly stepping on her toes and stuff like that. Her introduction is fucking hysterical because she wants to speak to the students, so they have a big assembly, and she's saying, "Kids, I want to create a warm, welcoming environment. I want to be strict but fair, and I want to do this." And then he goes along and grabs a mic off of her and then just says everything she said. Like, that's such a total fucking ally bro move. It's really well fucking done. But they have her competing as like a deadlifter, and then they have Macho Man Randy Savage show up like fully roided out, like prime era Macho Man Randy Savage is like flexing and his biceps bigger than everyone's head.
Jesus.
At one point he shows up at a school assembly and he's like, "Yeah, every time I beat a woman I get stronger and I feel better about myself." You're like, okay, this is gonna end horribly. But it's the fact that South Park treats no one with the kiddie gloves is what I love the most about it. But obviously that leads to people saying, "Oh, we didn't expect South Park to treat transgender athletes without the kiddie gloves. Like, we thought they'd be the chosen ones that would get a free pass from the show." No.
What part of no one is safe do you not get?
There's jokes to be made at your expense. I have bad news for you. There's going to be jokes made at your expense. It's going to get fucking nasty in here, and it's going to be fun. So
that was always my favourite part of South Park. It was just how weird can they get and how out there, because it was always that time where everything played it a bit safe. Simpsons was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Futurama was just finding its feet.
Yeah. Family Guy was kind of getting started.
I think Family Guy was just getting started back up because they had 2 seasons or maybe even 1 season, then disappeared.
3 seasons and then had to take a break because of writer strikes and being dropped by Fox, and then DVD sales brought it back. So they were, I suppose there's obviously the first 8 seasons of South Park before you get Family Guy as a compare. Yeah. So, but Family Guy, by the way, is still going. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I don't know why, because Family Guy was, I think everybody fucking liked Family Guy. I had all the DVDs.
Yeah.
And it was always that thing where you were probably the same in high school. The minute you said, "I've got Family Guy on DVD," I was like, "Oh, dude, can I fucking borrow it?"
Obsessively watched the show.
Yeah, we all did.
Like 12 seasons.
Yeah. We all did, because it was weird, weird humor that was just aimed at us, because it was dumb shit. There was, for me, it was always the falling animation. How quickly the falling animation happened with that weird. That always got me fucking way more than any of the jokes.
And I walked away from that show learning a new weird reference.
Okay.
And always finding something new, because McFarlane has this weird eccentric taste.
Yeah.
And you would walk away finding a new artist that you would like, or you find some new musical that you'd never known, or I'd listen to directors' commentaries and all this stuff as well. So like I'd walk away with all their notes and all their inspirations for jokes, and I'd walk away and that'd inspire me to find my own dumb weird shit I'd enjoy. But so yeah,
the absence of all those was just where South Park came in and said, "Right, we're going to do shit that you aren't never going to be prepared for.
You will not step to this, I fucking guarantee it."
Yeah, you will not see this in the schoolyard, otherwise you might get kicked out of school.
They are the Eminem of cartoon comedy. Like, you would never say the shit that Eminem did to you. That's one of the Eminem lines is, "I say what you say to your friends in your living room, but I say it on the telly." Yeah. That was South Park's version of like comedy, and it was weird to see it being that honest, because no one expected someone to. We make those jokes. We do make jokes, killing people, farting people's faces and stuff like that. Like, that is childish humor. Yeah. If you're aware of all this stuff, because you're like connected to it, but at the same time you have the desensitivity of a child, because children are fucking savage.
Yeah, when you don't have that fucking barrier. Prime example. Every year since my niece has been able to comprehend what Christmas is, I've asked her what she wanted for Christmas. Yeah. 2 years ago, I asked her what she wanted. She went, "I want a computer."
Okay.
But she meant video games. So I was like, okay, I got her DS last year. Asked her what she wanted, and she went, I want, can't remember what she said, I want toys. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm happy with that. This year, literally about 4 hours ago, I said, Lily, what do you want for Christmas? She went, an auntie.
Oh, right then.
I just kind of went, I'm working on it. She went, not quick enough. And I'm just sitting there going, you're 7 and you're fucking adorable. I'd punch you in the goddamn face if you weren't my brother's kid, motherfucker. Where did you learn that? It's just she looked at me with a smile. She went, an auntie, motherfucker. I'm working on it. Yeah, no, kids do not have that barrier in their brain, because I remember when I was younger, I was on holiday with my parents. It was one of those stories that comes up at a sit-down dinner. The whole family were there. Yeah. And my dad randomly turns to me and says, remember that time we were on holiday? I said, aye. How old was that at the time? Maybe 7 or 8. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, we were down in Cornwall. Said, yeah. Remember that time we were walking past that really fat woman and you asked what cellulite was? And I went, I think I do. But just, yeah, kids have no fucking filter in their brain. So when you get a show like South Park coming along, people are walking around going, fuck you, you donkey raping shit eater. Yeah. Like, people just ran about the schoolyard saying,
wow, fucking donkey raping shit eater. And you just keep repeating what you heard.
Yeah, we're just like fucking parrots. Like, we're doing anything to make each other laugh.
That's so good.
Yeah. But no, Amazon, going back to Amazon Prime, I've started using more because they seem to have more that I actually want to watch.
Yeah.
As opposed to Netflix. Netflix have got some good shows, and a show that I want to get talking about later, just because I suffer heavily from nostalgia, just going back and looking at the old shit or the good parts of the old shit fondly.
Yeah.
A show called The Toys That Made Us, looking back at all the shit that I used to buy compulsively, and then...
Did they not make a season 2 of that?
Season 3.
Oh.
Yeah, season 3 was basically designed for me, pretty much. There was 3 sets of toys that they talk about. That was just... I bought all 3 of those fairly compulsively. And so Netflix occasionally have something that I have to watch, but more often than not, I'll just go on Amazon Prime. Like, oh, look, there's all 4 seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I will say that I
think Avatar might be on Netflix, but whatever.
My one gripe with the Amazon stuff is that if I ever want to watch anime on there, it's never dubbed. Like,
yeah, and there's not a lot of it.
There's almost none of it, and there's some stuff that's worth watching undubbed. Like, I'm going to start watching Villain Saga, because that's almost wrapped up now, so I can go and binge that.
Okay.
I think it'll be worth the investment. It's literally just the Viking invasion of England told to an anime.
All right, okay.
From who was it directed? There was some big name behind the director of it, and that was part of the win for me. Was it's this studio that I really like, and this guy who's done this work, and it's all really impressive stuff. I was very interested in how that turned out, and then it's like, it's on Amazon Prime, and it's a running joke in the anime community that Amazon gets the greatest properties, makes the best show that possibly can, but because nobody wants to watch it on Amazon, nobody fucking watches it, and we've missed out on some fucking great shows. They made one of my favourite shows in the last couple of years was a rom-com called Wotakoi, which was it was a bunch of adults who were hiding the fact that they're all nerds, and they were nerds when they were kids, but they were all trying to pretend they've grown out of it, but they're all like secretly, like, they're all going home playing like the DS for like a couple hours every night. They're all playing RPGs and stuff, and they're like, are we all nerds? Yeah, do you want to hang out more? Do you want to just like be friends? Do you want to have like a proper friend group? And with them kind of maturing as nerds was a lot of fun, but again, all dubbed, all subtitled. Couldn't watch it at the same time as doing something else, so you've got to commit to it.
Yeah, you've got
nice,
to,
I guess.
You've got to be invested in it.
But at the same
suppose
time,
that's what gets you coming back each week. If you're invested in something enough, or if you really want to watch something desperately enough, you're going to sit through whatever.
Yeah, but if we can make a quick recommendation, I found out that Netflix has grabbed Iron-Blooded Orphan, the Gundam Wing series, both seasons, English dub.
Do yourself a favour, because the English dub is fucking great. Some notable voice actors in there. You've got Johnny Young Bosch, who was fucking Kaneda and Akira, to name but a few. I can't remember the main character's name. Ichigo and Bleach. Just could go on and on about the fucking bona fides this guy is. But if you're a Gundam fan, even slightly, you owe it to yourselves to watch Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Iron-Blooded Orphans, the way I put it is, it's as good as what you thought Gundam Wing was in your head.
Gundam Wing is still good, fuck you.
It's not.
It fucking is good.
I have the receipts, motherfucker.
I have it on Blu-ray.
I don't think Blu-ray will help
so
that.
much better on Blu-ray, by the way.
That's not the issue. The drawings...
We get that
the drawings are decent.
Relena has a hole in her head. It looks like someone drilled a hole in her head. But
and all the smarts evaporated out years ago.
Years ago, but
the shambling monster has just replaced what Relena once was.
They've just let her bob along, but you owe it to yourself. If you're even slightly a Gundam fan, just watch Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Or if you've never watched a mech show, I think this would be a good...
Oh yeah, I never even thought of that, I expect.
Because I'm always trying to think of, if someone has never seen an anime or something in that genre, what would I propose to them as a good example of a staple of the anime medium, because there are certain things. There's all the shonen, all the power fantasy. Mecha is its own type of thing. Gundam is its own thing within mecha. And
it's all subgenres.
If I was going to present somebody with this easy to follow narrative, it would actually be Iron Blooded Orphan.
Because Gundam Unicorn is a good show, visually fucking outstanding, but the story is a little bit hard to follow at times, and it doesn't give you the big payoff that you want it to.
Yeah.
It ends with this thing that you kind of figured out anyway, because they're all fighting over something called Laplace's Bot, which basically holds the original constitution for the Earth Federation, saying that, because the whole point of the show is that there's the space noids, as they're called, basically people that had left Earth and now colonized space. They have been essentially banned from the planet. They cannot come back in, and that's what's caused the space noids to form this group Xeon, and the Earth Federation, they've got their own military, and that's what's caused the war between the two. But they've found the original constitution that says no, those people can come freely to Earth.
Yeah,
and that's what the war's happened. But you can figure that out within 4 episodes. Then there's still 8 episodes left.
And that's a weird thing with the Gundam series.
8-hour-long episodes.
Is a massive series of mech battles based around some political or legal argument.
Yeah,
that could have been solved by just 5 minutes of conversation.
Yeah. You can always tell the people that are willing to start this conversation get shot in the head within 10-20 minutes. So like, oh, the peace negotiations have broken down. Like, yeah, because you shot him, you asshole.
I get the feeling you know why this happened.
Like, did you stop and think about it when you're pulling the trigger? Maybe.
Just take 5 minutes, please.
5 minutes and think. God damn it.
Yeah. So you've been keeping half an eye on The Mandalorian for Disney Plus. Do you think it'll be worth it?
I think it will be, because just based on the few clips that I've seen, because again, Disney didn't do a universal release. They released it in America first. Now that apparently they're planning distribution for the rest of the world, which is retarded. Disney is a powerhouse. There's no fucking way about it. The mouse has some gun. Why not do a universal release, worldwide release? Because there's people that are going to buy it. Both my brothers are looking to get a subscription just because there's so much shit on there that they want to watch. So many kids movies that my niece can watch.
All the MCU stuff.
All the MCU stuff. Fucking, if you've never seen Endgame, you can go watch it there. If you want to watch the old 90s Spider-Man, Iron Man, all those fucking cartoons that we used to watch on Fox Kids back in the day, they're all on Disney Plus. Just to have it only in one country, and then we're getting it in March next year. It's fucking stupid. It's a long time for us to wait. The Mandalorian seemed like a show that I wanted to watch, because I've always been interested. Everybody wants to know more about the Mandalorians, because you've seen Boba Fett. Boba Fett's cool as shit. He's got all these weird pelts over him. He's got the cool guns. He's got the fucking wrist flamethrowers. He's got the rocket launcher. People want to know more about.
It seems like he was a character in his own that happened to join into the Star Wars universe, and everyone's been clamoring for a Boba Fett movie or something like that for years.
And now that we're getting something kind of close to that, Boba Fett's nothing to do with the Mandalorian, except the fact that Boba Fett is a clone of a Mandalorian. The main character in the Mandalorian is just called the Mandalorian, and he's a bounty hunter. He's taking odd jobs, and his job right now is to, I don't know the name of the character, I know the name of the guy who's playing the character, but I don't know what his character's called. But Werner Herzog is playing some kind of broker, giving the Mandalorian jobs, and he's giving him a job to bring a package back to him. And the package turns out to be a Force-sensitive Baby Yoda. And a lot of people are saying, oh my god, it's because the hashtag Baby Yoda has been going fucking insane over the past couple of days since they showed episode 2. And everyone is saying, oh, if anything happens to Baby Yoda, I will burn their fucking house down.
We riot, yeah.
Yeah, we riot. John Favreau, I'll kill you if you kill Baby Yoda. But it's this kind of weird image of the Mandalorian, who's this heavy armoured badass with all these guns. He's just sitting there with a crib that's floating by itself with a little green Baby Yoda, which I get that most people would consider it demasculate or unmasculine to say that this thing's adorable, but holy shit, a Baby Yoda is the cutest fucking thing you will ever see. And it's sitting there with the big eyes, just kind of going, huh?
You instinctively wish to pet it.
Yeah, you instinctively just want to cradle it. Like, you're safe. It's cool. Yes. But one of the cool scenes that I fucking seen, because I think Yoda, the hint in the Star Wars series, Star Wars canon, is that all of Yoda's race were Force sensitive. So at one point in the Mandalorian, it's fighting some big weird rhino beast. Baby Yoda just picks him up,
right,
and throws him away. But then because he's tiny, 6 months old, he just falls asleep afterward.
I'm tuckered out. Bye.
Because you see him, he sees little 3 fingers lifting the rhino beast up, and he throws it away. And because the beast's scared that it's just been picked up and thrown, it scarpers off.
Yeah.
Mandalorian sitting there as one shiny chrome and burgundy armor now covered in mud. I just fucking DM'd the shit out of that. I just went straight Matt Mercer in the explanation. If I completed that sentence with "you see a spark of blue arcane energy," you wouldn't have batted an eyelid.
We're in story mode now.
Yeah, and his armor's all covered in mud. And he just looks at the baby Yoda, and the baby Yoda is just sleeping in this little basket thing. That I'm pretty sure that he's making float. Because as the Mandalorian's walking, the baby's just floating around behind them. Right. And so I'm more interested to see the Mandalorian now with the weird Baby Yoda storyline that they've got going, and also that Jon Favreau has stated that Baby Yoda ties into the larger narrative. Okay. So I'm thinking at the end of The Mandalorian, we'll see maybe this Yoda is now the leader of the new Jedi Empire or something. Jedi Empire, the new Jedi religion, order.
How is what's the
he also eats an entire frog.
Aye.
At one point there's just a still of him, Mandalorian's dealing with something, Baby Yoda's running about in the bay, a frog hops in front of him, he just eats that fucking thing whole. And then again he eats the thing whole and just goes back to looking cute at the camera.
We're not ignoring that. You just ate a frog.
You just ate a frog. Stop it. You're 90% eyes, but pack it in. Sorry, what was your question?
Where is the set in time? Because I assumed it was prequel. I assumed it wouldn't be the prequel to everything. I assumed it would be after the original trilogy.
Yeah, it's set post-Empire, but I don't know how far post-Empire. So Fall of the Death Star 2, Battle of Endor, that continues on after that. I don't know if it takes place, after The Last Jedi, but I assume it has to because it ties into The Mandalorian ties into The Rise of Skywalker, so maybe there has to be a hint there.
Okay. Just because I've been...
And there's some old stormtroopers kicking about. Werner Herzog's character, the broker, I'll just call him, he has some guards that are stormtroopers, but their armour is haggard. It's all sandblasted.
Well, I like the idea that the Empire becomes so massive, you couldn't fully maintain it. You couldn't get all of the Guardian, all the troopers to swap out all of their gear. Yeah. There would be some remnants left on, and weird outer worlds that we just don't travel to that often.
And it's also been hinted that all the stormtroopers, when the Empire fell, they didn't know what to do, so they just kept their armor on because that's all they had. Yeah. And they just kind of went up to the place. I have a gun. Can I get a job? I will work security. I'll be here.
It makes sense. Yeah. If you're already an established authority figure and you have the weaponry to back it up, and nobody's coming to take it back from you, you might as well just cash it in for a security job.
Stick about.
I read an interesting interview with Werner Herzog because I was interested to see what... I don't know who that guy is. I know he's a big deal. He's a documentarian. He's a filmmaker.
Very eccentric.
I want to hear more about him. I want to see something he's done because the interview I read was weird as all hell. And he says that he only watches 3 or 4 films a year. Doesn't have any love for all this modern superhero stuff. And didn't watch any... Has never seen any of the Star Wars material. I'm like, that's strange, because you would at least expect them to see the first, because that is not a Star Wars film. That is that is a classic tale told in Star Wars setting. Yeah, that's what makes it a good film. The weird thing that he said was he only watched 3 or 4 films a year, but to keep up with current culture, he watches WrestleMania.
Okay.
He has a few things he picks that once something hits like a critical cultural mass, he watches it just to figure out what's going on, what the hype's about. But other than that, he reads Greek and Latin poetry. What the fuck is this guy? I need to go find out something he's done.
He did a documentary about bears, but a guy lived with a bear or something like that, or he did a documentary about penguins.
Right, okay.
Apparently it is very avant-garde cinema. Yeah. That kind of thing.
That's what I've heard, is that it's very odd. It's not... It's more traditional in like the sense of German expressionism than actual modern current filmmaking. Yeah. And even indie current filmmaking is completely different to what he's doing. So I'd be very interested, because he's in his 70s or something like that. Yeah, something like that. And I'm like, okay, he's still making films in his 70s. That'd be very interesting perspective to see how he would handle certain things, especially somebody who deliberately isolates himself away from current pop culture to make his own art.
Yeah, he's kind of the opposite of Mel Brooks, because Mel Brooks is 96 and still making, but he is one of those people where he is to the neck in the current modern pop culture.
Mel Brooks dabs, that's a fact.
Yeah, if he can, he's very old. Shoulder might pop out.
You can't say that when I got a mouthful of Dr. Pepper right now, okay?
Sorry, dog.
Danger. There's a phone right there. I could have just...
It's going to be a bad day when that guy goes. I'm not looking forward. I still want to look forward to History of the World Part 2, because that was always the big joke in History of the World Part 1. He said, we'll continue in History of the World Part 2, and it's never happened. But it'd be interesting to see how he deals with modern PC culture, because Blazing Saddles was where one of his most successful movies, and that was very on PC. He'd never get away with making that now.
No, I don't think you could. I think you would have to do it as a deliberate middle finger.
Yeah, definitely.
As a statement of, you couldn't make this movie now, so I'm going to make this movie now. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Speaking of movies you couldn't make, wouldn't make today.
Okay. I watched Terminator Genesis.
No.
that movie only came out last year, but I wouldn't make it. Did I tell you that I watched it?
Yeah, you
Did
said
we speak about it last week?
Yeah, you talked about it last week because we were talking about the comparison between that and the new Terminator Dark Fate.
Because it made Dark Fate seem infinitely better. But yeah, if we've already said it, we won't dwell on that too much.
I watched a 1987 anime film called Wicked City. After being told, do not watch this film, it gave me nightmares as a kid.
Jeez.
And I gotta say, if I'd watched this as a kid, I would have had nightmares as well. But watching it as an adult, kind of okay.
Okay.
But this is something I've been considering for a while, and this came up mostly with the Dave Chappelle stand-up special, was that one complaint that was quite common was a lot of people saying, I didn't expect to have to sit through this going in blind. Yeah. Despite the fact people were complaining a week afterwards, like, you've had enough warnings.
You've had a week to digest it.
But this got me thinking about content warning. Not trigger warnings, because I think that's a bit of a meme. It's overplayed and you can't really give that. But if you were to give a content warning, we will be discussing blah, 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 blah. Yeah. You could do that. More acceptable, more palatable to more general audience.
I mean, to an extent, you pick up any Blu-ray or DVD box, on the back of it, there will be a content saying, flashing light.
Yeah, but, for this one, actually, flashing lights is going to be an issue.
Oh, okay.
Don't ask why it's an issue in an anime movie, but remember that Simpsons joke where there was like, it's this old 1980s Japanese cartoon that gave people seizures?
Oh, Mr. Sparkle or whatever it was.
Oh, Mr. Sparkle's it's the dishwashing
Japanese seizure robots. I think that's
the Japanese seizure robot show. Yeah. That's the funniest bit.
It's just, because
they turn it on again. Like, they turn it on, they get hit by it once, they have a seizure, they fall down, they wake back up, they turn it back on again.
TV on again.
You fucking morons. But the Wicked City is a weird kind of like cop movie, because it's about a guy called Renzaburo Taki. I took a note of that ages ago and kept coming back to reread it, and every time I read it, it sounds different, because I copy-pasted the name from Wikipedia, and it gave me all the little inflection notes. And that keeps fucking with me. It keeps throwing me off, and I keep trying to mispronounce weird letters in there. But basically the idea is that there's a demon world and a real world, and that they had a war at some point and had been signing different truces every couple of years to maintain the peace. And right now they're about to sign a 100-year treaty that will ensure peace for 100 years between demons and the human realm.
All right.
For some reason, a creepy old Italian man by the name of Giuseppe is the only man with the clout to get the signature going.
They've really burst the bank on that one. Giuseppe.
Now, you and I are big Dragon Ball fans.
Yarp.
And one of the weirdest parts to explain that show to like a non-fan is Master Roshi, because he's a pervert. He's a kung fu master, but at the same time, or a martial arts master, but at the same time, a complete fucking pervert, to the point where serious chunks of his time on screen are devoted to seeing women naked, or getting their panties, or watching workout videos, because, that's where you can see the best jiggle. It's that type. He's that type of character. Giuseppe is that character, but centrifuged and concentrated down into a tiny old pervert.
He's just concentrated pervert.
He's concentrated pervert, because you only have 90 minutes with the character. You have to convey all of his perverseness in as little time as possible. You don't have time. You don't have seasons to expand his arc of perversion. So you basically just have this man being protected by Taki, and the assistant because one side, one protector is human, one protector is a demon, and that is Maki, just Maki, because apparently just Maki. That's the point. Who now these guys are part of like it's called the Black Guard, and they're basically secret service between the demon world and the human world, and they all have a cover job. Taki is supposed to be a printer salesman or something like that. I don't know. They decided on that job.
All right, okay.
Like, okay, if you want to hide the travel expenses.
Just as an aside here, before you continue any further, ABC made a live-action Wicked City TV show.
Really?
In 2015.
I kind of want to watch. That's going to be garbage, but I kind of want to watch it.
It's going to be ridiculous.
Because I guarantee you they did not try half the shit they did in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Maki is a supermodel, as well as being a blackguard. So again, if you want to cover the travel expenses and explain why a gorgeous woman exists in a world, she must of course be a supermodel. And obviously having a complete pervert next to a supermodel, the usual kind of anime hilarity ensues. So it's an interesting pairing, especially since Maki is the kind of take no shit type of woman that regularly beats the fuck out of Giuseppe. So they are trying to protect Giuseppe. They basically have to keep him alive until dawn, at which point they can do the treaty signing, because they're being attacked by a terrorist organization who, if I remember right, are called the Black
the Black World Radical. So you have the Black Guard versus the Black World Radical, and it gets fucking annoyingly confusing. So luckily the movie sticks mostly to just gunfights, demon powers, random acts of violence, but it includes them having basically like a terrorist attack against a hotel that they were using to stay the night.
Alright, okay.
Meanwhile, Giuseppe escapes out the bathroom window to go find someone to touch his dick. I'm not even joking. That is his motivation for escaping a terrorist attack is, I'm not down without getting my dick touched. Fuck this shit. And he runs out the building, and no one finds him for like half an hour in the movie.
Alright. I think I remember seeing an advert or something for Wicked City ages ago, because I remember having this old VHS copy of Street Fighter the movie.
Yeah, this is the type of thing it would be associated with.
And the Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, was great, but I remember there being an advert beforehand, and it had something called Bubblegum Crisis, and I'm pretty sure what might have been Wicked City. Does the final fight of this movie take place on a skyscraper or something?
Inside a ruined skyscraper, yeah.
Right. And does Taki have any kind of abilities himself, powers?
Taki has a giant gun.
Ah, right. I was going to say, the one I remember is it's atop a giant skyscraper, a lot of blues and blacks in it, but the guy is basically slowly getting dismembered, but he still has enough power to wield this staff thing that he has.
No, that ain't it.
That ain't Wicked City. Alright, fair enough.
Can't think of anyone that has a staff. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But the premise of the movie basically becomes, we need to go find Giuseppe and secure him before the demons get to him and kill him, because if they can kill him, then okay, so this is like a radical terrorist organization.
Oh, so he's the peace broker.
He's the peace broker in this negotiation, so he can get it organized, and if this all collapses, the demons will go to war with humans and probably win. And then they have basically just a kind of cop detective movie where they're trying to hunt down the guy and secure the VIP, protect them, and stuff like that. The only thing is that this movie is fucking graphic. The violence itself, not that bad. It's the usual kind of like shooting someone with a gun and they just basically evaporate, or like giant holes get blown in them. Taki's gun's actually pretty cool. It's a giant demonic revolver, so he shoots it and it actually punches him back, to the point where at one point he shoots it 3 times, it gets punched into a wall by the kickback from the pistol. Fucking hysterical, like action, like perfect for that like late 80s, early 90s anime style. Maki comes into her own later on, where she basically just decides to go full demon and just slaughters everything for several minutes. It's awesome. Very, very sexy at the same time, because anime has to do that.
Yeah.
Can't just have violence or sex be both. Only thing is, there's a lot of sexual violence. Alright. A lot of weird rapey scenes.
Have you ever seen Ninja Scroll?
No, I don't think so.
Ninja Scroll is another one of those movies. I bought it on Blu-ray because a friend of mine was going on about it constantly. And I went, right, if it's this good, I need to go and see it. Turns out fuck all happens in the movie. There's a plot line there, but it's nigh invisible. But one of the main characters is a female ninja. I can't remember her name because, like I said, I bought it, watched it, and then gave it to a friend. Right. It's like, it cost me a $5. Take it. I don't want it.
Someone else take this.
It's fucking bad. It's the Steelbook edition, so it's limited. Take it. I'm giving you a gift to your mother. One of the female ninjas in it, her ability was that she has poison coursing through her veins, but you can only get it if you try and engage in a sexual intercourse with her. So she gets captured by this rock demon who starts raping her and putting his mouth where it shouldn't have been. Right. And because she's unconscious at the time, and it's a 90s, late 80s, early 90s anime, rock monster takes advantage of her, and all of a sudden the rock monster gets paralyzed. Then fucking Jubei comes in and just cuts the shit out of her. Cuts the shit out of the rock monster and takes the weird poison vagina lady back to the good guys.
Well, Maki actually, I think, gets the worst of this because she is the strong, independent woman type.
Yeah.
They, for some reason, needed to make her suffer in this movie. She is basically assaulted by an ex that she used to date that's also a demon, and at one point has a weird kind of tentacle monster shove itself down her throat and leaving nothing to the imagination. Like, that is very obviously supposed to be something else, and it's pretty graphic. I would actually put out a content warning on that alone, because it is the 1980s anime. They don't give a shit. There's nothing considerate about this. It is a rape scene. Basically, there's 2 rape scenes in the show, or in this movie, and they are odd to watch, because I was actually thinking, like, just before the first one of those scenes, I was thinking, this is kind of cool. Like, I think my brothers enjoy this. Could be a good thing for movie night, to bring this kind of weird anime gritty detective movie to the, oh god, that's not what I wanted to see.
I cannot show this to anybody.
Yep, I can't show that, and I'm not sitting through this scene with my brothers. Fuck this.
I don't have to explain that.
And it's the DVD I got was it's from Amazon, but I got the Korean special edition.
Okay.
Turns out all of the menu, all of the actual language and the audio and stuff is in English, but the outside box is Korean.
Alright.
Turns out the writing called Hangul, I think it is quite easy to figure out once you like go and Google it. But it's given a rating over there of 19, which is their version of 18.
All right.
By their ratings and cinema boards. So yeah, it definitely fucking earns it. The violence and stuff there's all the cool usual violence, and then there's something about the sexual violence in this is really creepy,
Really unnerving.
like it's when they put so much effort into the violence that you're like, ooh, you guys need
Someone had an agenda here.
Yeah, you guys were drawing something else, weren't you? You guys were drawing this for a totally different reason.
Yeah, this just happened to become a demon anime, didn't it? This started off life as something totally different.
Yeah, you had that camera angle pre-drawn for a while. Right?
Yeah, you've been sitting on this idea for a while.
Maki, Maki shows up for a long while. There's also a Spider Woman, who I guarantee gives you the 90% of the men a good reason for a nightmare. She has the whole teeth vagina thing going on. Yeah.
Nope.
Although the weird thing about her is her animation is so good. The way she moves, she has this weird.
Is well drawn.
She's a gorgeous, voluptuous woman, a seductress, and then once she's done with you, chop chop.
No,
and
I like it.
Dom just got the exact image of what went chop chop there. But then when she crawls away out of the window, like after she gets thwarted, I think she actually originally tries to bang Taki, and he's like, wait a minute.
Something stabbing me in the pee-pee.
My pee-pee hurt.
My pee-pee hurt.
So he jumps
Weird
out.
spider lady, get away from me.
I think she said something like, we'll see each other again soon. And then she just kind of like weirdly spider walks out because she's now on all fours with the spider myth vagina thing on full display, and then crawls out the window and disappears into the night. That alone is probably where 90% of men's nightmares come out. It is horrifying. It's even like weirdly sexual, but at the same time horrifying. Yeah,
You don't know how to react.
it's a trip. It really is. And when people say it gave me nightmares as a kid, I'm like, yeah, because this is for fun. This is one of those things where there's an age limit on it for a reason.
Yeah.
This isn't just excessive violence. There's a lot of psychological body morph horror going into this film. It's good, but at the same time I can't help but give it the warnings, not only for the sexual violence, but seizures. I really think if I was prone to seizures, this movie would have fucking set me off.
Yeah.
For some reason, there is strobe lighting used as part of the movie. And it's not just like, oh, there's a strobe light in the background. There is a character that exists only as a ball of light and communicates through strobe light. I have no idea what the fuck's going on there, but this constant pulsing light, it points us a lot. I was sitting watching going, if I was prone to like seizures, this would set it off. It's weird. I don't know why it's there. It doesn't make any sense.
It was something about early anime. There was always the bright flashing lights. I think it was because it was a good way of kind of jarring the viewer.
Yeah.
And then when it came over, because that was probably accepted in Japan, translated over here, it didn't really translate all that well because people just, no, that's fucking disorientating. I don't know why I'm watching this show anymore. Yeah. Dragon Ball was horrendous for it. Early Dragon Ball. Whenever there was a beam or a fire special, the screen was lighting up. It's probably just inducing seizures off that.
It was interesting, but it's weird to see English dubs pre-Funimation.
Yeah,
because the dub I think was done 1990, and I recognise no one, not even as like kind of like as a joke. There's one person. Oh, it's tied to this person at this person. I could find no association between the original dub cast that I've got on my DVD. The actual like current film actors, most of them aren't working now. They just kind of, this was one of the things they tried out. It didn't work very well, and then they disappeared.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird when you go back and watch the earlier TV or the earlier shows. You'd be surprised the kind of names that you find. Because I was watching, the reason why I brought up Street Fighters, because I'm kind of glad it ties into the anime discussion here. But in Street Fighter 2, the anime, Ryu has a fight with Fei Long.
Yeah.
And Fei Long is voiced by Bryan Cranston.
Huh.
Which is, you can obviously tell it's him because everyone else has these weird, very good nondescript voices. Then Bryan Cranston sticks out like a sore. Because obviously now Bryan Cranston's a fucking hit. He could do no wrong. Breaking Bad kind of cemented him in that place. But when you just hear him do this weird high-pitched karate noise when he's doing Fei Long's fire kick, like, dude, this is how you cut your teeth. Then a few years after that, he was in fucking Power Rangers as well, doing the voices of random monsters.
Oh yeah, I forgot that weird fact about him. He has actually done like weird random voiceover.
And he was in. I mean, that's why the main character, one of the main characters in Power Rangers, has the last name Cranston because of Bryan Cranston. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird little like piece
odd ways to tie that shit.
I mean,
it's like 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon.
Although nowadays you play that game with my main ones
rubber gloves and a hazmat suit.
No, Kevin Bacon.
Is Kevin Bacon alright?
Kevin Bacon's fine. Yeah,
Kevin Bacon's fine.
I think so. It's Kevin Spacey. It's
it's the Spacey. Yeah. Bacon's fine. Spacey's a dick.
Yeah. I keep waiting for a story to get better. It doesn't.
No, it does not.
I
mean, it just got worse because John Bernthal, after shooting Baby Driver, he came out with all these stories recently saying, yeah, Kevin Spacey was kind of a dick to work with. He said he was an absolute asshole. And
I think I said something about Spacey's not going to be sued because one of the people putting in the lawsuit against him died, but they're working out whether or not his estate or his family can sue.
Right, his executive. Yeah. Well, to be fair, if what he's done, fucking get rid of him.
Go for it, please. But with the voice acting, like the kind of 6 Degrees game, I now play that with I forgot his name. Oh my god, how can I forget the voice of Vegeta?
Oh,
Chris Sabat. Yeah. Who it turns out is going to be, his character is going to be a bigger part of this season of RWBY because Volume 7 started. And,
I was going to say I didn't know that he was involved in RWBY, but perfect sense that he is because they kind of share actors with Funimation, don't they?
Yeah,
and vice versa.
Monica Rial has been with RWBY for a little while. She's doing. She was one of the main voices in Genlock.
She's also in Birmingham right now.
Is she?
Under heavy
really?
Because so many people on the MCM's Twitter page were saying, this is an absolute fucking travesty. Why do you have this excuse of a woman showing up at your convention? I was such a fan before now. I'm now cutting all ties.
Because of all the Vic stuff?
Because of all the Vic stuff. People are coming out against her now.
Shit.
Not in the sense that they don't believe her. It's just this. Not in the sense that they're now going against Vic. It's more in the sense of you lied your ass off, or it's been seen, that you're lying your ass off.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently from what I've heard, she's always got a couple of people around her.
I know that she said to do private security for cons in the US, but I was surprised it got that serious in the UK.
Yeah, apparently just fans weren't taking kindly to the I mean, again, nothing's confirmed, but the allegations and stuff that she was throwing about, and
it's all
we've all seen the
said,
depositions.
Yeah, there's the contradictory stuff between affidavits. And
it's all just a fucking. It's nasty. But at the same time, if you're going to a con, don't think of the fact that you're going to meet Monica Rial. Think of the fact that you're going to meet fucking Bulma. How cool would that be? Bulma's one of the best characters, and her interpretation of Bulma.
Yeah.
And the new run of the show is great.
I think I have actually went looking through my Twitter feed because I'm missing a couple of people that I thought that person, I followed that person. A lot of people are tied to the Vic case have started using blockchains. So they sign up for services where like anyone associated with Nick Rekieta especially is being mass blocked by anyone.
Right.
Like there's people I've never interacted with. Like one of the people commenting on it, I think he might be a lawyer for it. I think he's actually part of the legal teams. Has blocked me. I have never, guarantee it, hands down, I have not sent a tweet to that guy. I've been blocked because I follow Nick Rekieta for the news on the case.
Yeah.
I have therefore been blocked because the assumption is if you follow him, you would harass.
Yeah, you're like
people on the other
side.
side. And, so I found that very interesting. But yeah, it's a shame that she's got to go at that extremes for this.
But you were saying who did she play in RWBY? Because I tried to watch season 1 of RWBY and I couldn't get it.
Oh boy, it's not as well. I've got the Blu-ray sitting there. I say the same with Gundam Wing. Blu-rays don't help. Still a drawing. But no, once you get to season 4, 5, and 6, you gotta remember season 1 was done on a shoestring budget by a team of like 5 people.
Yeah.
So when you consider it in that regard, it's actually very impressive. But when you get up to season 4 onwards,
my gripes with the show were nothing to do with the animation because Monty Ohm, his animation's standard. He did things with 3D art that I'd never really seen before. Yeah. But I just didn't like the content of the show. I didn't like how because you sold it to me as it's not your typical girls kicking ass anime, and the episode that I watched was just girls kicking ass anime. All right. I was like, nah, I'm not going into this. And I tried. I gave it a couple episodes.
It's
clearly my not liking it has put a massive dent.
Yeah.
These are all fucking chapping my door.
Well, actually, there's something we talk about, and I'm not entirely sure how we'd plan it, but I'm trying to remember who she was. She has appeared as a cameo voice in new seasons of RWBY, but I know that Chris Sabat is playing one of the minions of Salem, so he's going to take a big part this year because it's to do with technology. His character's like a programmer, so now that they're in a more technologically advanced city, he is actively fucking with the city itself. He's going through and he's turning off cameras and security cameras as he walks through. Yeah, so he's Watch Dogs. He's the guy from the Watch Dogs. Yeah, I
played it for 5 minutes and I couldn't drive in a straight line, so I went, fuck this. One of the best parts of an open world game is how you get from A to B.
Yeah.
For me anyway, Grand Theft Auto is the number one example of that. The driving in that game is perfect. Same with the Borderlands games.
I love Grand Theft Auto 5 driving so fucking much.
Especially when you've get the high powered vehicles, you just fuck around. But in Watch Dogs, the simple lack of ability to drive from point A to point B when point A and point B's road is just a straight line. baffled me. It was like, nah, couldn't do this.
Is
The novelty of that game wears off within 5 minutes. Like, oh, I can do this, and that's all I can do apparently.
It's a bad game, but
Fucking awful.
His character's gonna be interesting this season. Obviously with the issues going on with Mignana, they've recast him.
Yeah,
You're
saying
tell
Jason Liebrecht.
Jason Liebrecht, as he's doing very well.
Yeah. But you can't tell the difference at all.
Well, there's a couple of differences. Like I know because I'm listening for it, but if you weren't, you wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
There is a lot of this first part of the season has been reunions. We've had one major character come back, and we've had two. And there was a lot of questions about how certain characters would react when certain characters are there. And it's been very nice to see it all it's been handled very well. That certain characters are more awkward about it than other ones. Quite alright so far. But the big controversy that's actually been going on, and we're thinking it's a rumour. It's not being confirmed. Yeah. But a couple earlier the weekend, there was last weekend. Sorry. There was a rumour that a member of the Ruby fandom had taken their own life because of harassment, because of what they wrote on their Tumblr blog. They were a fan of shipping certain characters together. Yeah. That wasn't very popular, and they apparently received enough harassments and death threats to kill themselves. Only thing is, there's now people saying it didn't happen, and people pointing to an allegation that the person who broke that story on Twitter made it up for the attention, which is the most fucking horrific thing. So I don't want to say too much about it, but there is that rumour going around. If you happen to Google Ruby and then see, which is RWBY, if you're interested in the show, I quite enjoy it. You might enjoy it as well. If you happen to Google it and then all of a sudden find that, oh shit, there's these people killing themselves in the fandom community, it's all alleged, and we don't know what's going on. So it's a very, very weird time to be a fan in a very strange way.
It's always difficult when you're in these communities to find something like that, because you never want to think of your community as being toxic, which is why I'm so glad that I'm not a part of League of Legends, because it is notoriously one of the most toxic.
We talked about Steven Universe.
Yeah,
we talked about
Rebecca Sugar, Steven Universe. People who drew fan art of a character, but they made the character skinny instead of fat, came out and just fucking demoralised this young artist. I can't remember if it was male or female, to the point where he or she killed them. And you never want to think of your fandom being the same way, because you imagine if the Dragon Ball fandom was like that. It's vitriolic to the point where they're getting people to actually kill themselves. I like to think that even through the whole schism of the Vic Mignogna thing, we've still been fairly civil to one another.
Nah.
Relatively civil? Kind of civil?
Not even kind of. There's been the usual doxing threats.
Yeah.
People overreacting to certain things, and allegations being thrown around the place.
You fucking let me down, guys. I'm trying to meet us halfway here.
Is, you can enjoy you now have to. It used to be used to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
Now you need to separate the art from the fuck faces that enjoy it.
Yeah, you need to separate the bad fan base from the good fan base.
It's like, I love Rick and Morty. I fucking hate Rick and Morty fans.
Yeah, they ruined a lot.
The new season's good, but
yeah,
I don't know if
I'll take your word for it, because I'm not watching it. I'm a fuck watching that again.
They did an episode. They did my favorite thing, where they just pack so much into an episode that's like, how am I supposed to keep track of all this? Yeah. That you go back for a second watch to just follow all the storylines.
With a notepad just going,
that makes sense, right? Yeah,
that lines up with this theory.
Yes.
You get the red wool out.
Well, actually, the thing that impressed me is that there's already theories, because there's a recurring character season 1. It only showed up in season 1 and season 3, and it's an evil Morty that had he's basically global domination in mind, and people think that he's responsible for this season 4 episode 1 premiere. Like, they think he's part of a conspiracy related to all this other stuff, because there's all these weird moments of every time Rick is basically jumping between different dimensions as a clone. So he dies, he keeps dying, and he keeps being sent into another dimension as a clone of himself. And every time he goes into a dimension, it's a fascist dystopia. So he shows up, and it's like, everybody's like, hey, so you're cool with fascism, right? He's like, yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Okay, he's just trying to like fake his way out of it to get home. Yeah. To the point where at one point he spawns in a world as like a little teddy bear. And there's the other teddy bear, Rick, is standing there with a gun saying, "Esto fascistisch." It's like, oh, fuck's sake, and just smashes his head against the wall to kill himself. Like, instantly just kills himself and respawns again. It's one of those, like, absurdly brutal things. The one thing I really enjoy about the show is that it just will go from 0 to 100 in absolutely no time at all. Including Rick's first death, where he gets launched out of his car and impales himself on a stalagmite.
Oh, right.
You're like, oh, shit. You don't see it coming. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, the season 1 premiere it's happening in America. I'm obviously watching it on dodgy sites, because the Channel 4 were going to show it in January, to which the response was, no, show it now. And they've moved it up to November 20. So Channel 4 will be showing Rick and Morty in the UK although everyone's just watching it.
Everyone's just watching it now.
I'm sorry, but like I'm just not waiting. And for some reason, Channel 4 have picked up season 4 onwards.
Channel 4 have picked up most of the Adult Swim shows.
Right.
So you've got all the if you go on 4OD, the app that you can probably get on your Xbox, PC, TV, whatever.
Yeah.
You can find all 4 seasons, or all complete 3 seasons, and the episodes of the 4th season of Rick and Morty. There's Venture Bros, there's Aqua Teen Hunger Force, there's all these fucking previously obscure Adult Swim TV shows are now showing up on 4OD.
That's good, because
Eric Andre show as well.
I was trying to find out why it was going to Channel 4, and I just assumed it was some deal.
Yeah.
But if the Channel 4 just went wholesale,
Yeah.
and bought into, I mean, that fits with them. That is the type of thing they would show.
It's because in the UK, I don't think Cartoon Network are allowed to show Adult Swim.
Right.
Because Adult Swim used to be this, basically what Cartoon Network or CNX used to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, remember CNX way back in the day before it became Toonami. CNX was this weird channel that would show all your cartoons. If your Dragon Balls, your Gundams, that shit. I just called anime cartoons. Fuck you.
Oh, there it
shit.
is. Chinese cartoons.
Fight me. It would show anime and cartoons, I think is what I meant to say. And it would show Jackie Chan movies. It would show all these other movies. And I think that kind of gradually became Adult Swim. But I think Adult Swim have now got enough clout that they're their own channel. Yeah. And through some reason, they're probably not allowed to broadcast in the UK. So they're probably just tacked onto Channel 4. Or maybe Channel 4 bought the broadcasting rights.
It might just be it's too much hassle to incorporate themselves in a certain way to allow themselves to broadcast in the UK.
I mean, whatever the reason is, at least we can still watch it on 4D.
That's good. That explains it. That makes a lot more sense. I was trying to figure it out last night. I was like, I don't know why they're not just showing it on Netflix, not giving them a shit ton of money.
Oh shit! I forgot Robot Chicken as well. Robot Chicken's up on 4D, and it makes it so much easier because it's been a ball ache trying to find the DVDs that I don't already own. Because I have seasons 1 to 5 on DVD. Cannot fucking find for the life of me the rest.
I remember having Robot Chicken, like the Star Wars special.
Yeah.
Those are pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, those are pretty good. Seth MacFarlane is the Emperor, just using his normal speaking voice. It's fucking superb. It makes so much goddamn sense.
It's
and
like the
Donald Faison is the Stormtrooper. It just keeps getting. I think he's Gary the Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
He just gets into all these fucking problems. At one point, he's taking his daughter, who's just a little Stormtrooper with pigtails. It's bring your daughter to work day, and Darth Vader's just saying, "What is that child doing here?" I says, "Sir, bring your daughter to work day." And quite frankly, I am at my wit's end. I just want to show it. And he just starts shouting at Darth Vader. And Darth Vader just goes, "That hits me where I live." And sends
I'm a father too.
Sends Gary on his way. I just, buy Robot Chicken Star Wars. You can probably get it for pennies now.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth it. If nothing else, other than actually seeing Billy D again as Lando.
Yeah.
I have already altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. How could this get any worse?
You will now wear this pink tutu.
It's so good.
That's so fucking great.
I definitely recommend that series down. So yeah, Rick and Morty, Ruby, and South Park new season. I've already talked about that one.
Yeah, unless you want me to talk about that toy show that I was talking about.
Go for it. Like I've been interested in that show for a while.
It's again, I suffer heavily from nostalgia. So when there's a show that pops up talking about the old shit that I used to pester my parents about, I'm gonna watch it. The whole point of it is it's the show is called The Toys That Made Us, and it's literally going through all the pulp toys that we used to buy when you were younger. So there's Lego in there's Star Wars toys, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that shit.
Yeah.
So the first season is G.I. Joe, Barbie, Star Wars, and one fucking other, doesn't matter. It'll come to me eventually, and then that was the first one. Transformers, I think it might have been. No, Transformers season 2, whatever fucking it was. But the first one, just watching them, because the whole point of the show is they talk about how the toy started. So then there'll be a bidding war for the Star Wars thing, because that was George Lucas kind of just walked into various toy shops and went, "I've made a New Hope. What are you going to offer me for toys?" Then he just basically darted around the place, and he got cheated out of so much fucking money. Eventually went for the deal with Kenner Toys, and they said, right, for every $1 we sell, you will get 25 cents.
That is absurd much.
It's like 25 cents for every $1, so we get 75 cents, and that 25 cents is split between him and Lucasfilm.
Right.
So he's basically getting next to nothing, and they're getting this Kenner Toys were getting this massive chunk of all the Star Wars merchandise.
For just the guy who owns the IP, like considering that the toy manufacturer would have to actually make the toys, that revenue split is not bad.
Yeah, but it basically meant that George Lucas was getting next to fuck all money. But and then the contract that they negotiated, because George Lucas had no clout, he was just saying, "I'm making a movie. Every successful movie has a toy accompanied with it," and he said, "Right, when he's negotiating the contract, you either just give me a check for $10,000 every year, or you give me $10,000 worth of toy revenue. And then the first year that Star Wars is out, it make 18 million. Year 2, 124 million. Year 3, 200 million. And it just keeps going up and up and up until Phantom Menace comes out. It just drops down drastically. And that's what they kind of do with each one. They'll track how well it fucking sold it. And all these toy lines sold stupidly well. Some of them even continue to sell well. With the likes of Star Wars, people are still paying $400,000 for one random Boba Fett figure that has a missile pack attached to it.
Transformers,
people
Barbies are still a thing.
Yeah. And one of my favourite episodes was actually the Transformers episode, because it told you that it basically says right on the front cover that Transformers is not an American product. It is the combining, to use a Transformers term, of just this Japanese TV show and that Japanese TV show. Even one of the Transformers that they talk about, I think it was called Jetfire, is literally a Macross plane painted white and red. Because it was like, shit, we need to pull these out of our arse. Bandai America are breathing down our necks for more toys. Fuck it, spray this red and give it to them.
Yeah.
And again, Transformers made almost billions when it eventually wrapped up, and it's now on its 19th iteration or whatever the fuck it was.
Have you seen? I don't know if this is part of the show, but have you seen the stuff about He-Man toys?
Yeah.
Like Battle Cat was just like something else they just had lying around.
Yeah, it was part of a line. I think it might have been Mattel or wherever the hell the toy company was. They had a line of toys that called Big Jim. Yeah. And Big Jim had a cat, so they just spray painted it green and went, that's his steed, his mighty steed Battle Cat. And like, we found that in the bin 10 seconds ago. And it's a lot of clutch shit like that. I mean, when they were trying to sell He-Man, one of the things that we're talking about was we went into a place and the guy said, I'm interested, but sell me more. And they said, oh, didn't we tell you? Each toy comes with a comic book. And then the guy giving the presentation, his team are standing behind him going, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Slow down. And he goes, all right, so you've got the comic book, you've got the toy, we need more. And he goes, oh, didn't we tell you? We've got 2 TV specials going on. And his team are behind him going, dude, shut the fuck up, we can't do this.
We did not have that.
Then, before you know it, you've got the He-Man TV show, you've got the fucking comic books, you've got the billions of toy sales that are still going on. People are still buying the He-Man toys. It's ridiculous. And it was interesting for me because it showed me how fucking rabid I used to be when I was collecting these old toys.
Yeah.
Especially when it came to Lego, because they talk about Bionicles.
Oh,
we went
shit.
fucking in on Bionicles.
That is going to end badly. That's the weird thing as well, is how much of children's TV was just an advert.
Yeah, all the like He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, fucking Star Wars, all of that was just to sell toys. Some movies more than others. So the last few Star Wars films, like the last few prequels, were just quite literally made to sell toys. Some of the shit that they put in there was just that would be a cool toy. That's why there's so many different droids.
The Progs or whatever it is.
Progs? Oh, that's
the weird bunny rabbit things.
Porg,
yeah.
Porgs, yeah.
I've not seen them yet.
And that became the standard for Star Wars films going forward, that they would put shit in there to sell a toy. And
because frankly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I mean, it still make fucking money hand over fist, and people are still going to buy it. So why not keep doing it that way? And speaking about Bionicles, going forward to the Power Rangers toys. There's an episode about Power Rangers. Again, you probably grew out of it long before I did, because when I was in for something, I stuck with it for a while, and I stuck with Power Rangers for maybe a bit too long. The
Bionicles were still pretty cool because you could actually do stuff with them.
Yeah.
The only thing is, see, when it came to stuff like Power Ranger stuff, it was always the cheapest, flimsiest, plasticest crap ever.
Yeah, we say cheap, but it was not cheap.
I know.
The plastic itself was
cheap. The manufacturing was cheap,
yeah. And it got kind of better, but at that point I was like, okay, I can't realistically ask my parents to buy me this cool car thing that's probably going to break after the dog gets a hold of it.
Yeah.
And but the Power Ranger stuff, it's just looking back on it and thinking, if I was aware of those toys at that price range, I would never have stopped pestering my parents for that. Yeah. Like, give me the Megazord, like, but it's £300. I don't care, give me it. It's just been that fucking really annoying pain in the ass to my parents, especially with they're talking about they do another episode on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in season 3.
Oh boy!
Because I should say that in season 3, the 4 toys that they talk about are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and wrestling figures.
All right. Yeah.
And then they also talk about My Little Pony, but I skipped that episode because I never bothered with My Little Pony, and now it gives me a migraine because now my niece is getting into that shit, and that shit is expensive.
And it's filled with creepy perverts, so let's not bother.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, if you do you, but at the same time, bronies skeeve me out.
Yeah, if you've never found out what a brony is, don't start now.
Don't
save yourself.
Close the tab. Go and have your dinner because it's getting to run about that time. Just be with your family. Don't
call your parents. Just enjoy a sunset. Just enjoy a nice walk in the evening.
Yeah,
It's a crisp night. Doesn't mean it's a cold night.
Warm cup of tea, then go out for a nice walk. You'll feel great. Don't look up what a brony is. But yeah, so I watched the 3 episodes that I was interested in. Left the My Little Pony one at my side. But watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode, I can only imagine what it would have been like when they first came out. Because when I got into them, they were all heavily discounted. So I was like, oh, can I get this one? Oh, sure, it's only £3. But because it was that much of a hot ticket item, and the movie itself, when it first came out, was one of the highest grossing comic book movies of all time, technically an indie movie at the time because no one would produce it. The toys sold quite well and they were quite expensive, and then it gets to the WWE figures and then all the play sets and that. To get a complete run of WWE figures, you're talking about $200 back.
Shit.
So now you'd be looking at heavily invested, and this shit has all become heavily collected, and that's why I love that TV show, because it's just a huge nostalgia trip. Because when they're talking about Power Rangers, I'm like, I had that. Holy shit! How much money did my parents pay for that, and how much money is it worth now? And it's worth a lot now. I'm looking for the pieces, like, okay, I have it all. I can sell this and pay for a car.
I like that the show seems to have like all the right level of nostalgia, but then sit you down and say, these are the numbers behind what happened.
This is how much money they made, and this is how much money it would have cost your parents to get you this, because you just had to have, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo.
But you gotta have it to complete the set.
Yeah.
You don't know which one he is, neither do I. Let's just move on from it, because I remember the
red one.
The sheer number of adverts, the sheer number of adverts for all the WWE like wrestling shit.
Yeah, and everywhere.
It's all Christmas long.
Yeah.
Was just WWE wrestling figures.
I remember I never wanted the play sets. I never wanted the toys. I wanted that belt, motherfucker. Every Christmas list that I wrote every year for about 10 years when I was younger was just, can I have the Intercontinental Championship belt? And I never fucking got it because my parents were sick and tired of me and my brothers beating each other up for shit.
Well, now you have the money. You can go and buy it yourself.
Damn right, I'm going to go buy it.
Walk in on Christmas Day, right in the middle of Christmas dinner.
Smack my parents off the head.
Throw down the belt.
Right in the middle of the turkey.
Who wants it?
Who's ready to fight me? Bring it on, brother.
Oh yeah.
Just start throwing gravy and potatoes. We're just going to bring it on, bitch.
This is why I work every Christmas, because I will do retarded shit like this all day long.
Yeah. Oh, dude, talking about Christmas, we are on the 17th of November.
Yes.
I seen people putting up the Christmas decorations on the 27th of October.
Well, shops have had it since before Halloween.
Yeah, understandably though, because I mean that's how just shops work. They get it's all seasonal. But if you're putting
for
up
us
your
in the
decorations,
UK, there's nothing really. I mean, the Americans have Thanksgiving, but
yeah, there's nothing in between. Really summer and Christmas, so we just get that shit in right at the end or right at the start of Halloween, because we've had them in since the start of October.
Yeah.
But if you're putting your fucking decorations up and it's not even November yet, have a word with yourself. And also, I'm calling out the people that say, "Oh, you don't like Christmas. You're being a bit of a fucking Scrooge." No, I love Christmas, and I don't want to see you cheapening it by putting it up 3 months early.
I love Christmas Day. I hate the 2 month lead up to Christmas.
Oh yeah, I hate Christmas shopping. I like doing stuff with the family. If we go out just at the Christmas market in Edinburgh, I love doing shit like that. I love the family aspect of it, but I hate this whole we love Christmas. We want it to be Christmas every day. It's like, nah, I'd rather it be once a year. That way we can enjoy it and be engaged in that when it's happening, not the 2 month run up where everyone's just ripping themselves fucking stupid trying to get the ultimate present for someone.
See, I had that conversation with somebody who assumed that because I'm quite grouchy around Christmas, because I don't like, I say, they like 6 month build up, they were like, oh, you must just hate Christmas. So when I said, oh, I'm just sorting out Christmas shopping, they were like, oh, I thought you hated it. And I'm like, no, I enjoy Christmas, but I say I don't enjoy having it hear on the radio for like 3 weeks beforehand. Name one good Christmas song. There isn't, I guarantee. Like
Corey Taylor,
Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's the only good one, and I have it on a playlist.
The Darkness.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Darkness
one.
Darkness had a good one. Jingle Bells.
Slade. Wish it could be Christmas every day. It's a good song.
No,
I like it, man.
No, I'm just done with it. That's the problem. Is that
I actively don't listen to the radio, so when I hear it in my house, I'm like, it's Christmas time, because my parents respect the rule.
I'm going to try and convince as many people as possible. Maybe just to make Spotify playlists, maybe just to have something ready to go, because I'm not listening in the lab.
I'm guessing in your work you just have the radio 4th one or whatever the fuck it is blaring in the background. That'll
be gone by December.
Best thing to do is just get all the people in the work say we're going to agree, we're going to get Spotify Premium for the office, we're going to chip in, get a tablet, we're going to leave it in the corner with a set of speakers, and that's going to be the new music thing.
What's like is that the computers we have speakers built into it, and they're decent enough. They're actually surprisingly powerful for the tiny size they are. But I think we could actually set it up to just have like, I don't know if we could use a Spotify account. Is anyone going to object to class?
No.
No one does.
Especially when you're working.
You get a big enough playlist so that
Yeah.
you're not hearing the same shit every day, and I guarantee you nobody's going to object to classic rock.
Yeah.
Just throw that shit on shuffle, and
Yeah.
we can all enjoy Christmas together by not listening to Christmas music.
Yeah.
That's the plan, kids.
And
Yeah.
I personally, I hate Christmas music enough. There are some little gems in there that I like. I like Paul McCartney's Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time, because everyone hates it, and I fucking love it.
I was like, why do you like this song? I've tried playing it in my
Everybody
head,
fucking hates it.
and I'm just like, there's nothing in here that I could see as being Dom's thing.
No, it's the weird synth, and it's the fact that I like the Beatles, and I don't know, I like that song, and everyone that I know seems to hate it. I would rather just get rid of Christmas music altogether, because the closer we get towards Christmas, there's going to be those Christmas tracks coming out, and I'm fucking sick and tired of hearing all the try-hard auto-tune fuckers putting out Christmas tunes. Does anyone want to hear a mumble rap version of Silent Night? Because we're going to get that.
I kind of do.
No one does.
It's going to be
Shut
such
up.
a shit show.
It's going to be a fucking shite, man.
My favourite like Christmas like out of nowhere song is somebody at a DMX concert asks him to do Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and he raps Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on a tempo that he sets himself. It's a banger. It's just him like fucking around behind stage and stuff, and somebody goes, you don't know Christmas songs. Like, yeah, I know Christmas songs. I got a kid. Watch this, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oh shit.
Shit, he's spitting bars. Christmas bars.
DMX back, baby. Woo. I
not looking forward to the Christmas songs. I've been luckily managing to avoid them up until now, but it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
I reckon I've got about 3 weeks before they just start infecting.
In the words
my
of
oratory.
Thanos, I am inevitable.
Run from it. Fear from it.
Fear it, run from it.
Dread it. Everything comes eventually.
Shitey Christmas music comes eventually. Yeah. That's the title of the episode. Shitey Christmas music comes eventually.
It is inevitable.
I've been trying to listen to a bit of a variety of stuff, because I noticed I'm falling back at the same track. I did find some weird stuff to listen to, kind of enjoy myself. Obviously Joe Rogan's a big fan of a guy called Gary Clark Jr. And he did.
I've heard of him,
he did the Justice League version of Come Together.
All right.
That's him. Fucking great. So I've listened to the whole song and I was like, that's pretty fucking good. So try and find out more of his stuff. But I downloaded a doom metal and I forgot how weird doom metal, because it's not set to my expectations. I'm a very heavy metal kind of guy. Like, I love my heavy metal. I love high tempo stuff. About the first 5 minutes, the first doom song I listened to felt like at any given moment it was about to start. It was just like this kind of plodding chord going on and on and on, and I was like, great, it's great. When does the music start? Like, when does it kick off? Like, it's all got to kick off. And I looked down at my phone and I was like, it has been 3 minutes of this shit.
It's all just the low C's.
3 minutes of just like blue balls of just like dun 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 dun.
3 minutes of an intro.
Any moment now we're about to get the absolute like face melting shredding riff, and no, it wasn't.
Just blue balling you along.
I was like, this is. I shouldn't have listened to it when I did. I was looking for something that's a bit more up tempo, so I switched over to another playlist, and yeah, that was what I needed at the time. But at the same, like, if you want to get into doom metal, it's a hard thing to approach. You've got to change your mindset on what you think metal should be. You've got to anticipate the fact you're not going to be comfortable with it in a weird way.
Yeah,
it's not what you expect.
Yeah, you're going to be oddly waiting for the rest of the song to kick in, because I know that happened to me a few times with some death metal bands, because a lot of that is just, it's all sort of chorus, it's all high, like solo type shit, and you're like, okay, when is it going to settle down into some lyrics? And like, oh, the lyrics are there, I'm just not hearing them over dun 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 dun. Yeah. Just the same repetitive riff over and over again. Yeah, I'm on the lookout constantly for new music, because I'm in that same kind of rut as you. I cycle through the same 8 odd playlists, and even at that, within those playlists, I'm like, I don't want to listen to that song. Oh, there's that song that I've listened to 12 times this week already. Yeah. So I need to get some new music out there. So if you want to help me out here, I'm going to ask the fans to pepper the Twitter with some stuff, get more conversation going on the Twitter, because I need some new music. My tastes are mainly sort of heavy metal, death metal, melodic death metal. I will go into a bit of dubstep, because apparently I just like chaos.
My brother
chaos lives in everything.
I see what you did.
You see me.
It was a joke. A bit corny.
Yeah, a bit corny. It was out there.
But my brother played me something last night. Kendrick Lamar, rapper, very talented guy.
Who is this young man?
Talented young gentleman from the Compton streets, I believe.
Does he do all the rap music?
Yes, he does.
The kids these days.
The hipping and the hopping and the biffing and the bopping. He's a phenomenal talented guy.
The fizz, the fuzz, the plip and the plep. She's asleep and that's where we at.
Oh boy, it does not take much for the Bill Cosby to go straight to the dodgy rape jokes, does it?
It starts there and doesn't go anywhere else.
It's a one-track train right now. Like, that guy used to have a career, now it's just straight up, you're a rapist, bro.
Rape jokes. Is that not? That's one of Arsenio Hall's jokes.
All right.
Like, do you think if anyone coming out of jail now would believe you the fact that Bill Cosby's in jail and OJ is free?
Somebody wakes up from a coma, you're like, no.
Nah, man, OJ's in jail. What's Bill Cosby doing?
Well,
Sit down. Here's a coffee. We need to talk.
how high are you right now on those meds? Because it'd be good to be high right now. You're about to learn some shit. But somebody, I think it was Skrillex actually, did a dubstep remix of one of his biggest songs, Humble, which is a good song in itself. But then Skrillex came on, I'm like, ugh. I can see why like Skrillex kind of disappeared, because he doesn't have it anymore for some reason.
Nah, he released a couple of tracks recently that was just like, nah, it's not as
good as like was it Monsters
couple.
and Sprites or something like that.
Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, I think.
Yeah.
And he released that 3 times.
Yeah.
He released there was Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, and there was Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites remixes.
Yeah.
Where I had like Diplo and Zed and stuff in there. Then
There's
he
a
released
lot
it
of
again
really-
with like the additional tracks. And like, dude, you've released the same album 3 times.
Please stop.
Just come up with something new, or people will write.
And it's been a weird thing of like listening to a remix. I was like, I mean, it's all, you see the way that like when people make a track and present it as the finished product, there's a reason for that, and it's because component parts might not work individually. And this is where he took the audio just of Kendrick Lamar rapping Humble and then put that into his own beat, and it does not work at all. Like, dude, you just kind of ruined Humble. I'm sorry, Steve. I know it was your jam, but it sucks dick, man. I
remember before Skrillex, the guy was in, I think his name's Sonny Moore. The guy that says Skrillex, it's something Moore, I remember.
Yeah.
He was in an emo band.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
think it might have been called Of Mice and Men.
He was in that?
I think so.
Oh.
Could have been. I'm probably very, very wrong. But yeah, because I just remember thinking, because Skrillex was a good composer, he was a good dubstep artist, but then you go back and see, oh, he can actually sing. Oh no, he can't sing.
Ooh, no.
That's emo screaming.
My favourite one actually is, I don't know, you probably don't like Post Malone.
I don't mind him.
He's alright. I enjoy his stuff. His new album,
the song that Bert Kreischer danced to is a fucking good song, and
Wow has Bert ruined Wow for me. I really love Wow, and then all I can see is Bert Kreischer dancing like naked to it, and I'm like, oh no.
You just block that out.
What
And
do
the
you
song
do?
that Post Malone did for the Spider-Verse soundtrack,
Sunflower.
yeah, pretty good.
Sway Lee. Yeah, fucking good one. Yeah, but the album Hollywood's Bleeding, really fucking good. He did obviously the Stoney album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys. Stoney was great. Beer Bongs and Bentleys just pissed me off because all he did was rap about how much money he had. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You made a fucking $1 billion album. Calm it down. I don't need to hear about your 40 pairs of Gucci socks, right? This is the third song you've rapped about this in.
How long do you think it'll be before Peter Capaldi starts singing about how much money he made from, what was his album called? Something to a Hellish Extent?
Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi, Lewis Capaldi, motherfucker.
I was gonna Peter Capaldi of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
fame.
he's released now.
Dropped a hot ass rap album.
No, dude, I can imagine him doing a sort of Christopher Lee thing.
Yeah.
Speaking, just acting over
The spoken
death
word.
metal.
Yeah. I'd dig it. Yeah.
I'd be down for that. But yeah, Lewis Capaldi, he'd probably start doing shit like that, talk about how much money he made from his first album.
But I found, I'm a big fan
Probably
of,
talk about it on Tinder, the fuck.
got a big fan of Monster Cat, and I found a weird track from them. It was a 9-minute one. I think it's called Bliss on Shrooms, because they've got one producer called Toxic Mushroom, and they have one called Bliss, and they collaborated for like a 9-minute track. And if you want to talk about like weird dubstep and this weird like techno only, no vocals, just playing with different instruments and stuff, and I've found myself investigating synth music more and more. And the guys who make it are just on another fucking level.
Yeah, fucking genius.
It's an ascended plane of thinking. You're like, this is all crap. This is all just people making random weird noises. Like,
Yeah,
no,
just pushing buttons.
how do you get to that noise? How do you arrange it all
Yeah.
to make sense? You're like, dude, there's an art form to this that I just didn't understand, but fucking amazing.
That was always the weird thing about sort of techno music and sort of the electronic dance music and stuff started coming out. I never understood how it was made, because obviously I've been listening to heavy metal since I was 5.
Yeah. And that's simple. You see the guitar, you see the guy
guitar, the
stringing
bass,
guitar,
the drums, you see all that shit. But my older cousin, he has a couple of released tracks through Vespa Records or something like that.
Yeah.
But he got less than fuck, so he stopped doing them. He had 6 songs released, all relatively good songs. But I always just wanted to ask him, can I watch you make a song? Because I have no fucking idea. There's no instruments involved. It's all you on a computer or you behind a set of deck. How the fuck do you make it? Always fascinating.
It's worth a look, and I'd recommend there's a guy on YouTube called Andrew Huang, Andrew Huang.
Yeah.
The guy has a a series where he gives 4 producers, one of them being himself, and 3 guests, a piece of music that somebody made, and then they chop it up, remix it however they want, and come back. It's insane. Like, just seeing the timeline of construction of how they make these songs, you're like, what the shit? You people, that's what I say. It's a different level of thinking. You got to understand this game is played on a level you cannot exist. Nuts. I love it. But yeah, I'll take any recommendations for extra music as well, because I found some bits and pieces that I quite like. But yeah, beyond my usual kind of musings, I'm really finding too much.
But you kind of, I don't know if you might not agree with me on this one, but I think I can safely say that the best year for metal was 2012, 2010, because we haven't really had many new albums or new bands come out that think, holy shit, this is the new rise of metal, with the exception of the latest Slip, because that popped up and everyone was like, oh shit, Slipknot are fucking back. To my knowledge anyway, because I think in 2010 you had the height of Five Finger Death Punch, you had Skindred just dropping fucking bangers left, right and centre. You had Even In Flames were still dropping good records consistently. I mean, they still are, but a lot of people say that their new musical style is not the greatest. I disagree, but your mileage may vary. There's not really been many consistent good metal hits, because even Five Finger Death Punch have taken a major nosedive. Skindred, I think we've spoken about this many times, but I think when you run out of angry shit to sing about, what's left for a band that predominantly talks about injustice and being an angry young man?
And it's not that that's gone away. It's that their perspective on it has now shifted as older men quite come across the same way. So there's probably some stuff out there that I'm just not aware of. I mean, if you want to talk about Five Finger Death Punch, they've got their kind of spin-off band Bad Wolves. I think they're fantastic. Disobey might be one of the best fucking albums in decades for me. They released Nation, and it's a bit toned down from Disobey, but Disobey is a deliberate anti-establishment battle track basically. And they have had a series of like softer songs get thrown into the mix, and I don't know if that's just a marketing strategy, because I noticed when the Death Punch that they would have a softer song that would go out on the radio, get new listeners who would come and find all their softer stuff but then stay for some of the harder stuff, and that's how they built an audience, was having a radio friendly softer song. I think because Bad Wolves is managed by Zoltan Barthay, the guitarist from Five Finger Death Punch, that they're employing the same strategy to make it, because they have all the possibility of a great group.
Isn't one of the members of Five Finger Death Punch now a cop or a community cop or something like that?
Probably.
Yeah, I remember reading something like that.
Wouldn't surprise me. But also, I mean, I've recently rediscovered Hell Yeah. Chad Gray's band, he was from Mudvayne. It had Vinnie Paul on drums for a while before his death, and it's a supergroup basically. Yeah. And for some reason I seen it and I knew it was around, but I never really paid much attention to it. So it's just one of the things of like, I really should have paid more attention when it was still a thing, you know.
It was like when Cold Chamber, I mean, talking about the opposite of that, when Cold Chamber came back, I dug out the Cold Chamber greatest hits and I was like, there's a reason Cold Chamber went away.
It was not fun.
Loco was probably the only good track, and even at that, Loco is just the song that made you glad that Death So Farah went on to Devil Driver. Yeah. And even that, what the fuck is Devil Driver? I don't think we've had a good record from them for a while.
The last couple ones were actually pretty good. There was one that was a bit dodgy. The one that was there was one that was a bit softer, but it was still decent. They did that country album.
I have not listened to the country album.
It's a banger.
I'll download that.
Just for like, I'm enjoying country more as a genre. And then having somebody go, okay, and now we do heavy metal and country music at the same time. Like, to that shit. Their version of Johnny Cash, When the Man Comes Around. Fuck me.
What was the album that they did? It was the blue and green cover. I think it was
Beast.
Beast.
That was garbage.
Yeah, people did not like Beast, that, myself included.
Beast was like yeeted in the bin.
Beast was there.
There was a follow up after that though. It was good.
Because Don't Trust No One or something. It was called.
Yeah, Trust No One.
The front cover was the wolf and the clothing.
Yeah, with a sheep head on it. Like, that was a good one. Trust No One was good, but then after that, I think they've quietened down, or maybe they've released something and not.
Yeah, maybe it's just not been on the radar.
Hell, I missed 2 Killswitch Engage albums. There's all the possibility of
good reason.
But still, I mean, in fact, I missed one of my favourite bands at air quotes releasing 2 albums.
Yeah, Howard's been quite quiet as well.
Or has he? That's things.
Like the Torches.
Maybe we're just out of touch.
Yeah, we could be, maybe.
Do you think we should correct that? Maybe try and find, like, let's go and dig for 2019 and just find not obscure stuff, but stuff we deliberately missed.
I think we need to catch up and sort of reconnect, because part of my thing has been I have the music that I like on this. Yeah. On my phone. I like I'm saying on this, like you can fucking see it, the listeners of the podcast. I need to remember that we're not a video podcast. Like I have all the
yet.
Give it time. I have all the music that I usually listen to on a daily basis on my phone, on my mobile, but I keep forgetting that there's other shit out there that I can I can easily get a hold of.
And this thing with Spotify or YouTube Music,
Yeah,
that's
easy
where I
to get.
find half my weird shit. I look kind of like, oh, I remember that band, or I wasn't willing to put money on that album yet, so I'll just go down through that premium service.
Yeah, absolutely. I do that with every time Megadeth releases a new album. I'm like, I'll download it first. I'm not willing to drop some shekels on it.
We shall see first.
Yeah, I will see a couple of tracks, and the latest record that they released was not bad, but there was the sour taste of the previous album. I can't remember the name of it. It might have been something like Dreadnought. Can't remember, but it was awful. It made me just go back and listen to Peace Sells, but who's buying over and over again just to remember the good times. But now, I don't think Dave Mustaine will be touring for a while yet. He's still battling with throat cancer.
Jesus.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, it would be a hell of a day if I have to see Dave Mustaine, but he could probably kick it.
Yeah.
Hope.
We gotta hope it's not fair to have to.
Absolutely horrible.
We're still reeling from 20.
Yeah, the celebrity call of 2016.
So do you want to dedicate? Maybe not like for the next episode because we need time to actually do the research.
Yeah,
but at some point, dedicate an entire episode to just weird metal albums and weird music that we missed in 2019.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's like you said, or like I said, we need to start getting reconnecting with the metal scene. Because
how much time do you have off around Christmas time? Because we could do it. At
We're
the
in
start
about a month, but it does mean I think between now and the start of December, I am booked solid.
Right.
Between coursework and exams and shit.
What was I say? Over Christmas time?
Yeah, over Christmas I've got about a month off. I don't go back till February after.
Oh shit.
So, yeah.
That's student life, bro.
Yeah. No, dude, see, a month and a half is great. I don't mind that because I've worked my ass off up until that point. I'm thinking I'm ready for some time off. And just to be able to, sit, play some video games, or, being able to go to the gym or take hour and a half long walks with the dog just to go and do some shit. It's fucking amazing. I love doing that shit. And because it's colder, it's nice and crisp. All the conditions, it's nice and the ground is nice and crunchy beneath your feet. Fucking love that.
Yeah.
But see, when you've got 5 months off during summer, I will kill a bitch. I'm like, folk will walk into my room and go, "You okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not fucking okay. I've been off for 3 weeks and I don't have nothing to do."
I'm melting and bored. Fuck off.
It's 26 degrees and I'm fucking ready to kill someone.
So
shit.
Start of the new year.
Yeah.
Start of 2020.
New year, new me.
Nah.
Yeah. New year, same me. I ain't fucking. I might get a lot. I'm gonna try and drop some weight, but I'm staying relatively the same.
New year, me.
New year, slight differences.
Yeah. New me, maybe some beard dye. I don't know.
I ain't dying. I do get people telling me that I should dye my hair.
I occasionally, I think a couple of weeks ago I said I caught myself in the mirror, and it's one of the things of you don't notice the white until you notice the white, and then you notice all, and you're like, oh boy, when did that happen?
I was on the train on Thursday morning, and I was just sitting down there, and it was one of those the table seats with the 4 seats either side. Yeah. And I just kind of caught myself in the window. I was like, holy shit, my hair looks silver as fuck today. I could not see a single bit of black hair in there. I was like, it's the lighting. No, it's not. This is your reality now.
Yeah, the reality checks come at you hard.
Yeah. It was actually getting to the point they were thinking about doing some fundraising for the rugby club, and they said, "Would you shave your head?" And I went, "Probably." It's getting to the point where
join me, Dom. Join me.
I'd probably grow my hair back, but I think it'd be cool just for that few weeks, just to see what it'd be like bald. How thick it would make the beard look if I just shaved my head.
It adds volume.
Yeah, we'll see it.
The head reflects so much of the light. It makes this appear as a darker shadow. It works.
It would probably highlight the fact we're in this streak of ginger going.
I've never seen that, but now that's all I'm
now
going to see.
It's all you can see because it's just this copper lining on the left side of my face.
Dumbest copper wiring for a beard.
Yeah, I just start connecting the phone lines. Charge myself.
I was up helping my brothers yesterday, and I was helping him install a streaming card, but he also said he has a bad wireless connection. I offered to give him my old wireless card that I took out my PC, plug it in his. Turns out there's a weird issue where the faceplate of the card I was going to give him is too thick by like a millimeter, and it pushes everything out, so I can't actually install it. So I'm going to try and fix that. Not entirely sure how I'm going to fix it. I'm going to try and because that's what good big brothers do. And I was playing around inside his computer component. Turns out my computer is basically built to be taken apart. His is not.
Right.
There are things locking things in place there that I don't understand how they fucking welded that shit in at all. I hate whoever made his PC. It's a bit older. It's a good chunk older. It was made by, I think it was like a chain store.
Yeah. You find when you go into places like PC World and Curry's and stuff, if you buy a PC, they will make it in such a way that you can only open it if you take it back.
Yeah.
You'll get a better PC if you take the money that you spent on that PC and get the components and build it yourself.
But I looked at his stuff, and I've looked inside his stuff. I was trying to see what I could do to upgrade it. It turns out I could install the network card. Spacing was an issue. But during that installation, his pre-existing card that he has his little chip built onto the motherboard, the wires came off. So to rewire his network, and it is the
tiniest. Sit and solder it back together.
I wish I had, because it was it is these tiny little things. And I've got the same thing. It's the same type of chips on the Xbox. I've taken apart my Xbox to dick around with some of the stuff that was going on there when I was having heating issues. And with the Xbox, it's quite easy. You can just take the thing off, and you have to disconnect to get further into the Xbox because it's all tied together. But with this, it had come off, and I didn't even know when it happened. But the wires had popped off of it. But the cable itself doesn't actually. There's not like a pin or anything. It doesn't like slot into anything. You have to actually just force it onto the card. So to get his PC, put it on the carpet, take out his power supply because I couldn't get in. Because his graphics card is fucking massive. I couldn't take out his graphics card because it was like welded in fucking place with this weird structure. And I couldn't get my hand all the way through because like the depth of the case was like the power supply on this side, my hand going in, and then the Titan graphics card sitting in there. And I could barely get my hand in, and everything's hot because he leaves his computer on all fucking day. And I'm like, I've got to fix this now. So I'm like struggling to get my hand in there to take everything in, and I couldn't actually do anything. So take his power supply out of the piece, put it off on the side because I'm not disconnecting it because all the cables are fucking everywhere. Cable management on this thing was not absolute. Don't know who made it, but I want to punch him in the face. And then I had to like take out the chip that was controlling the network connect, physically like jam the fucking wires back on there, and then re-screw everything in place. Terrifying. I was sweating. I was shitting bullets. I was
like disarming a bomb. You're just shitting yourself in case you break his PC.
It just makes me think that components for PCs have come so far in so little time because of shit like this. Because that is an unworkable situation that you couldn't. I mean, unless you were told to only build PCs that way, you would never build one that way.
But if he bought it from Falkirk, I know exactly who would have built his PC. Can't remember the guy's name, but when I went for a job at a PC World, I think it's Curry's PC World it was at the time.
Yeah. Which
is now Curry's PC World Carphone Warehouse, which is just condense that shit. Just call it Curry's. Cut it down. But I went for a job there, and I was talking to the guy that I would have been working with, and he was like, folk come up to you asking for a gaming PC, sell them anything over $1,000. Can't do that in all good conscience because that's ripping them off. Doesn't matter. And my brother came in for a PC, and he said, I'll go and talk to your brother and I'll sell my PC. And I want to buy this one. It's about £400 and it looks like it could fit my needs, and I could transfer stuff from the old PC. No mate, you're not wanting that. You'll fry the mother. Here, buy this thing. This £800 PC that you're still fucking paying off. And he was like, oh cool, what's it doing? He was like, oh, it does all the things you want. Well, can you show me? And he went, aye, showed him it. And oh cool, that looks really powerful. Not realising that it had been, polished up to spec just for the show floor. So he took it home, bought it, and he went, alright, I wanted to put in the graphics card, and it's a fucking mess in there. There was like cables all over the place. And so I went back in for a follow-up interview, and I said, aye, that PC that you sold my brother, so he's wanting to try and replace some stuff, and he absolutely can't. I said, oh, that's because if he wants to change anything to do with the operating system, or he wants to change any of the components, he needs to come back into the shop and do it. Otherwise, he voids his warranty. Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
I mean, from the point of view of voiding warranty, that's expected, basically.
Yeah, that's fair, but
at a certain point, like, you own that PC beyond the warranty, that should be accessible and changeable.
Absolutely.
Like, wow, I could just swap things out willy-nilly.
And that's still accepted practice at Curry's PC World, because if they sell you a copy, if they sell you a PC and they'll say, we can upgrade you to Windows 10 for free, and we'll give you a copy of Windows 10 and a USB stick, so in case you need to back it up or anything like that, they will set up Windows in such a way that you will need them to put in a password if you want to change it.
Oh.
So they get you to come, I don't know, that's probably not the way they do it, but they do definitely set it up in such a way where you need their confirmation to make any changes. Right. It's essentially they retain admin rights. So you have the PC, you own the PC, but you need to take it to them to change anything.
Huh.
So, and the only way you can get around that is say to them, install it, but I demand full admin rights, otherwise I'm walking. And then they go, oh sure, you're affecting the sale, we'll just give you it.
But it's not the thing they do at the box, because they
out the box they just assume that you're a fucking moron and you can't do it yourself, which is pretty shit.
Yeah, I don't begrudge anyone who has to work in PC hardware right now, because AMD is coming for Intel big time. Yep. And I'm seeing reviews about the new processor unit. Shit to get very interesting out there for AMD versus Intel. So if you're interested in that type of thing, start reading up on AMD's new Ryzen line, because there's the new stuff they've just launched, and there's stuff coming out in a year from now. It's going to be the next like half generation of stuff. It's going to get very interesting for PC building in the next couple. Worth a look of that inclination.
Yeah, if you've got some spare shekels going around that you want to build your own PC, go for it. Because it's something I've considered. The PC that I'm using just now, it's a good PC, but again, it is bought and pre-built. I would like to go down that route of just building my own PC and see how that fares. It probably wouldn't go well, but there's enough people around me that I could say, dude, I fucked this up, could you come in and take a look? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. But hopefully not my dad, because I caught my dad doing something weird, and it confused the shit out of me. I asked him, I said, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? Because he was sitting there with just a pile of components all around him. And asked him, what are you doing? Fuck are you doing here with all these bits about it? You know, oh, my hard drive stopped working, okay? Because he has this weird tower thing where he's got this thing, he just harbours technology.
Right.
And he's got this thing where it's a dock thing that you can put old hard drives in.
Yeah.
And it reads the data and puts it through to your laptop, PC, whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, one of my hard drives stopped working. Okay, so you took it apart? And he went, yeah. I went, you do realise without the casing, you can't really read the data that's on the hard drive? And I just wanted to take it apart and put it back together. And that's not really going to work. You've just essentially broke 2 hard drives.
I actually watched, it was Linus Tech Tips, went to the place that actually does like hardware data recovery off hard drives. They don't even open anything on a hard drive unless they absolutely fucking have to. As soon as that case comes off, game fucking over. Yeah.
And then he's got he's got the little silver discs everywhere, and he's got the little. I've said to him, like, you've basically just wasted 2 hard drives. And he went, nah, it's fine, I'll be able to get them up and running again. I went, that is...
No, dude.
No, you might be able to fix cars very, very easily and very, very quickly. But you've basically just broke 2 fairly expensive hard drives that you've had for quite a while.
Everything on that is so sensitive. Oh my... Oh, yep. See the readers on a hard disk drive, it is beyond like... It's a piece of metal, but it is almost thinner than...
Yeah.
And that's what's reading. And if it was any thicker, it would shred the hard drive.
And there's a reason why hard drive overheating is such an easy thing to do, because if that overheats even slightly, all those thin components will just buckle, and your body heat can get that done pretty fucking quickly.
Oh, just
no, I don't agree with it.
I'm pretty cavalier with my PC. I'll do random shit for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's stuff about that just kind of gives me the kind of willies, just kind of
I'm extremely fucking forensic with my PC. If I have to open it up and clean it or something, I turn it off, leave it for half an hour. I put on fucking gloves and shit in case I get anything. I'm sitting there with the fucking light and the magnifying glass, just trying to put it back together like I'm doing fucking bomb disposal. Like, don't want to fuck this up. This was expensive. Oh shit, I've messed up the power supply. Yeah, I'll watch one of my older brothers or my dad do something like a simple task, like replacing the heatsink paste. Just spread that shit about. There's heatsink paste slapping all over the place.
No.
I'm just sitting there going, you're doing it wrong. Where's the gloves? How long has that PC been off? I'm just having an aneurysm in the corner, like, yeah.
It's supposed to be the size of a pea.
It's supposed to be, squish it down. You can reuse the tube if you're really frugal.
Oh, it's just...
No, I don't like it, man. I can't watch other people fixing computers. It skeeves me up.
At some point, we might need to make you watch that one. Who was it? Somebody made the worst PC building guide of all time. I might need to get you to watch it. It's hysterical, but I think it's Forbes or something like that. They paid some intern to make a PC, and it is the worst build guide of all time. Like it was so bad they took it down, so all the re-uploads exist out there, and they have they bombarded the original video with so many dislikes that even the re-uploads that people saying, I just re-uploaded this for posterity. This is not my video. Massive There's more videos of it being reviewed by PC builders than anything else. Ridiculous.
I'm counting most of those videos are just very angry PC builders with crossed arms, shaking their heads in disappointment.
It's people freaking out. They're like, you would never do that. You just did everything about that was wrong. It just and they're like, having the mini aneurysms and all. That's horrific.
No.
But yeah, PC building is fun. If you're playing around with PCs on the inside, it is fun. It's also risky as all hell.
Oh yeah.
It does not take much to fuck up a component, and it's why I'm very nervous around it whenever it comes to like doing anything inside the PC. But once you get used to it, it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Once you know what you're doing. I did some minor PC building back in the day, or PC repair, because I kind of knew what I was doing.
If you know enough, you can.
But it was always that thing was I made sure that everything was done properly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not joking when I say gloves and fuck it. If I'm taking tiny cables, I'm sitting there with tweezers.
I have a screwdriver kit, and it's got a tiny tweezer. The only thing is, tweezers they come to too fine a point. I can't actually grip anything with them, so it's kind of useless. I have no idea what it's for. I've never figured out how am I supposed to actually use these accuracy at length.
I say tweezers, realise I just used the wrong. I'm talking like needle nose pliers that come at points. I'm like,
right.
Very carefully lifting things out of the box.
It's one of the things as a guy, or just as somebody who lives by themselves, a decent toolkit is a fucking lifesaver.
Yeah, it's an absolute must. Although if anyone tries to fix my PC again using a magnetic screwdriver, I'm going to beat them to death with that magnetic screwdriver. I asked my dad, like, I was trying to crack a PC open so I could clean it out on the inside, and I was like, I've not got the right screwdriver for this one. 2 seconds, I went and got this big red magnetic screwdriver that's used to work on the car. I was like, get that the fuck away from my PC. You're not using that.
They're actually not that bad. As long as the magnet isn't that powerful.
Oh dude, this thing was powerful. Like,
I know, like, if it's for cars and stuff like that.
It's been used on cars, so you could just like pull out broken pieces of screw and stuff like that.
Oh,
You're
no.
nowhere near this thing.
Say, please stop. Please don't touch that PC with that thing.
Stay away.
You'll wipe everything ever.
You will destroy everything.
I think we're ready for the showstopper.
Absolutely, we are ready for the showstopper.
It's going to be a little different this week, kids, because I'm actually going to encourage you to stop the show. Because we are going to take a quick look at a music video from the 1950s. As I found some weird shit recently. This one pretty much takes the cake. This is, you're going to go to YouTube and search for Pete Drake and his talking steel guitar. Forever, okay? That's the track, Forever, by Pete Drake and his talking steel guitar. And join us after this quick interlude. Well, we're back.
We are.
How was that for you? It was haunting for me.
Hey, I didn't think it was that bad. Actually, I can imagine that being in an old Coen Brothers movie. It's just some kind of weird musical interlude, but there were some creepy aspects to the video. I mean, there was just people hanging out for no reason. The weird fucking Von Trapp family at the front of it. They were just sitting singing deadpan into the camera. It was pretty fucking freaky.
My favorite comment from like the top list ones on YouTube. Directed by David Fincher. It fits so well.
Yeah,
there's something
so much sense.
It's eerie off suburbia setting of this performance by the band, and you say there are just random people dotted about, just kind of hanging out, vibing in the moment.
Yeah, just getting in it.
But why?
For no reason.
We need to. That's the problem. Is we need to figure out. I say this is just something I found a while back, and I was like, this is so creepy. I need to show it to someone else.
Yeah.
I show it to family, friends, anyone you can show it to. It'd be like, what were people doing in the 50s? What drug were they on? This is not the actions of sober people.
We're going to break conventions here, Colin.
Yes.
Double showstopper.
Double showstopper,
because in the same vein of shit that you found that you wanted to talk about,
yeah.
I found some shit back in Halloween that I forgot to talk about.
Yes.
And I've found it again. Just we probably spoke back in season 0, available on YouTube. Watch at your leisure. About haunted houses and how people they love the thrill of the haunted house because they're like, oh, we get scared. The adrenaline hypes up. It's a fun experience. And then the advent of the haunted houses birthed extreme haunted, where people would go in and get covered in blood and people would get grabbed and shaken, and it was all family fun to an extent because people would have the code word and say, right, Oklahoma, I don't want to be involved in this anymore. And then that actor would go point to the door, that person would get out scot-free usually. But in the past, I want to say maybe 5 to 6 years, there's been more and more of the extreme haunted houses popping up, and one name leads the list, and it is McCamey Manor.
All right.
McCamey Manor is run by a guy named Russ McCamey, who might be certifiably butt fucking sane.
Not just that, but fucking sane. Jesus Christ! I can't even, that phrase just threw me off the list. I was like, I thought I had something for that. No, fucking sane is the best phrase I've ever heard.
He's certifiable. To gain access to his extreme haunted house, which is called McCamey Manor, you have to pay him in dog food, which he then gives to a greyhound trust.
Right.
Which is the only good and redeemable aspect of McCamey Manor. When you go into McCamey Manor, you have to sign a waiver, and clandestinely, under the guise of entrance, this person has posted it, or someone has posted it onto the Reddit, and is now put up a list of all the things that you have to agree to get into McCamey Manor. And here are, I think there's 20 odd of these different clauses in total. I'll read out some key ones. First one is a participant understands that they may incur injuries from falling props in the event that they become unstable during the that's fairly standard boilerplate.
Yeah. Shit happens, stuff wobbles, you might get hit by it.
Second, that one was clause 50. This is clause 50. Participant fully understands and agrees that once the participant enters McCamey Manor, there is no quitting unless serious physical or psychological injury is present. Clause 49. Participant fully agrees and understands that they may come in contact with carbon monoxide poisoning with regards to artificial fog.
Okay.
Clause 51 takes the fucking cake. Participant fully understands that injuries may occur during their tour of McCamey Manor, which may include but are not limited to head, neck and back injuries, death, stroke, traumatic brain injury, brain aneurysms, cerebral or retinal hemorrhage, subdural hematoma, loss of consciousness, whiplash, harmful heart reactions, nausea, headaches, dizziness, lacerations, broken or sprained bones, torn ligaments, bleeding wounds, scrapes and or cuts, heat stroke or drowning, and does not hold McCamey Manor
Now,
I can go on because there's plenty of these fucking things.
There's the phrase, behind every sign is a story. As in, someone had to have explained that you don't run next to the pool because somebody ran next to the pool, slipped on water and cracked their head open.
Yep.
The list there is terrifyingly long.
Yeah.
And it's all like the carbon monoxide due to the fog exposure. Okay, that might be because they're using a certain chemical that reacts in a certain way and could produce carbon monoxide. That would induce poisoning, and we don't want to get sued for that. The laundry list of physical injury there. is so massive.
Oh, there's also this list here. I'll read you a couple more. Participant fully understands and agrees that if they are selected to visit the dentist, in quotations, that they may have a tooth extracted without Novocaine and cannot hold McCamey Manor liable. Participant fully agrees and understands that their teeth may be accidentally chipped, broken, and or lost, and cannot hold McCamey Manor liable. Participant fully understands and agrees that it is possible that joints, i.e. shoulder, jaw, elbow, wrist, knee, hip, may be accidentally dislocated, and the participant cannot hold McCamey Manor liable. Participant fully agrees and understands that they will be participating in various medieval torture devices, such as knife throwing, and will be strapped to a spinning wheel and will be shackled or chained. I don't know what a gibbet cage is. I think that's just like a massive sort of bird cage thing.
Basically, gibbets are... A gibbet is what hangs... like, you hang the cage off of it, but the cage itself is basically just, I say, like a giant bird cage.
It's like a
with
hanging
thick
cage.
iron bars,
Yeah. And they may be attached to stocks or the rack. Patient fully... you are a patient at this point. Participant fully understands and agrees that they may be bruised by paintballs. Fully understands that they understands and agrees that the MK Ultra Mind Control may be used. He's just making shit up now at this point.
MK Ultra Mind Control is a theory that the CIA, or partially proven conspiracy theory, that CIA had mind control capabilities, or tested mind control in the 50s, mostly on the mentally unstable, apparently a lot in the black community as well. But it's the running conspiracy that the CIA has dabbled in mind control.
And it goes on to many, many more horrific things. There's one here that talks about they will be enclosed in a chamber with live animals, which may include mice, rats, roaches, tarantulas, millipedes, centipedes, snakes, spiders, potato bugs, worms, larvae, snails, slugs, grubs, and crickets. They may be asked to ingest said bugs as well. And they must be fully aware of the fact that they will be sedated, giving hallucinogenic drugs. They may be induced to the point of choking, gagging, or vomiting. They will get tattoos, and a nail may pierce their hand, or they may get smashed in the hand or face with a hammer. And this is all apparently a legal waiver because they found some loophole.
Is McCamey Manor in Texas?
Could be.
Because this seems like the kind of thing...
I'll Google it.
This seems like the kind of thing where a Texas lawyer shows up during a lawsuit because of this, and they say, Your Honour, my client signed a waiver allowing us to do this to them. And at that point, the judge has to say, Son, we in Texas...
It's in San Diego.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like, we're in Texas...
It's on Russ McCamey's... it's on his property, so I don't know if that feeds into it anyway, but I'm pretty sure you can't exclude liability for private property.
You just can't exclude that level of physical trauma.
Yeah. And by the way, that's just a flavour. That's just some of the more horrific ones. The list goes on. Those were in particular clauses 55 to 71. 50 to 71.
That has been written in a certain way to ensure maximum coverage.
Yeah.
It's been written by somebody who is aware of what this business does and says, you want protection from what? Okay, this is the best I can do.
Yeah, this is literally the best I can do.
I will name everything you could possibly do to a person, and if they sign off of it, we might have a bit of leverage with a judge who is not batshit insane.
It's fucking ridiculous. Incidentally, if you want to see this live, there's a show on Netflix. I think it's called something like Black Tourism.
Right.
And the last episode of that show, episode 10, is where they go to McCamey Manor.
A black tourist?
Black tourist, yeah.
Yeah. It's so... I feel so easily that they would try and get out of this.
Yeah.
To that extent of just saying, look, we're going to list everything we could possibly do, and let's just hope a judge makes and that you're dumb enough to sign.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of their excluding liability, is them saying, oh, you signed a waiver, you agreed to it, but I don't think there's any amount of physical torture that you can exclude. And apparently now...
has that ever been tested in court? Has that waiver ever been tested in court?
I don't think it has, but it is now facing backlash because a lot of people are trying to get it shut down, but a lot of people have been physically deformed because of their injuries in McCamey Manor, and they're now being taken to court. And I can't stand to the American legal system, but in Scotland you cannot consent to physical deformations or any kind of damage.
Yeah.
So you could say there was a case in one of my classes that we're talking about. There was basically a BDSM orgy going on,
right?
And one of the guys basically got fucked up and torn to pieces, and he said, "No, I consented to it." And they went, "No, who cares? Like, you still got
the Crown needs to prosecute on your behalf."
No, it wasn't the fact that he was trying to prosecute the other members of this fuck pile, and they said, "Oh, he consented to it." And they said, "No, you cannot consent out of this amount of torture or this amount of physical damage. Like, it doesn't matter that you consented to it. You still basically got mutilated, so you can't he can't consent out of it. So there must be some difference in the American system. I think it might be something to do with the fact that it's on his private property.
Ugh.
That he doesn't, maybe he builds all these things themselves and they consent to it beforehand, but there's still something incredibly shady about this. And I do hope it gets shut down, because Russ McKamey is clearly a mentally unstable man. Because you see the videos on YouTube of people going through it, hardened Marines who are getting... And also, there's another part of that waiver. You will get scalped at any point. Not to the point where they will get a razor and they'll just shave you. They will just rip out chunks or get a knife, a blunt knife, and just start hacking pieces of your hair off.
Shit.
Yeah.
And to think of that, you have to be a very dark individual.
Yeah.
And I know there's some people who embrace the darkness of what they like to do, but jeez.
It's ridiculous. And if you want to help this along, make sure McKamey Manor gets shut down, because I don't think people are going to be safe, because there's always going to be the morons that think, yeah, I can do this. Fucking yeah, I can do this.
Yeah, bro, I got a couple of beers in me, let's go.
A couple of beers in me, let's go. I fucking survived tours, because a lot of these people are veterans.
Yeah.
Former people that have left the military, or people that are still in active military service that go along and do this, and then have to go back to their barracks with their heads shaved off and a fucking tattoo on the side of their face that they never fucking asked for.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, the whole point, when we were doing the Halloween episode, my end point was going to be, have fun this Halloween, but don't go to that extent. Have safe fun.
Have fun. Don't go to McKamey Manor.
Don't go to McKamey Manor. If you're in San Diego, burn it down. Just set it on fire. I guarantee your one crime of arson is going to be heavily drowned by his many, many crimes against so many different people. And the fact is, he also records it as well. If you consent to recording, because another part of it at the start of the waiver is you consent to being recorded and that footage being used on YouTube. I guarantee most people, if they're in a haunted house, or even an extreme haunted house, would consent.
Yeah.
So, and the footage will be up there. So, if there is a case against him, it's not looking good. Unless he has some silver bullet that says, I can do this.
Yeah. Maybe there's some weird twisted part of legal law in California.
I'd hate to think that is the case.
Jeez. Right. Well, I've been Colin Graham.
I've been Tom Anderson.
And we've been talking Gibberpish. You can reach us at Gibberpish on Twitter. You can contact the show at gibberpishpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, we've been talking Gibberpish.
Yep.